gets out of the game, you gotta kick him back into the game. So I just need him to just stay focused. That's all. But other than that, I think he proved a lot of people wrong. And with Christian Wood coming in, I think it helps us out a lot. A lot.
So does Dwight Powell move to the bench?
I would move him to the bench because I personally don't care for him as
I
much.
like Powell though.
He's okay.
I feel like Powell can do a lot of the stuff Wood does. He just doesn't do it at the same clip.
Right, exactly.
He's probably a little more athletic, like a little more body,
Yeah.
but like Wood's a more proficient shooter, and he can get his own shot off the dribble.
Right. I feel like the White don't have some of that toughness. Like, and I hate to say this, but I feel like Maxi Kleber gave us a lot more toughness.
Kleber's got balls.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
He has a lot more toughness than Dwight. So it was sometimes, and Kleber's undersized, he at the rim blocking shots. And I was like, oh, okay, Maxi. But I think you could play both of them, Dwight Powell and
Well, remember,
Christian
there was
Wood.
one point, was it either the Sun series that it flipped or the Mavs series where like you kind of couldn't play Powell. You had to play Kleber at the five. You had to play the Finney Smith, Kleber, Luka, and Jalen Brunson lineup.
It was the Sun series, which I will let y'all know I was shocked that we won that series.
I wasn't. See,
I'm sorry.
So me and Chris have had this secondary rivalry. So us both being Sixers fans, we always like had a Western Conference team. I grew up a Dirk fan. He grew up a Steve Nash fan.
Okay.
So when Steve Nash went back to the Suns and when Dirk finally had his own team, the lines were drawn.
Right.
He's been a Suns fan. I've been a Mavs fan. So the Mavs stunk towards the end. It was bad towards the end of Dirk. And then God.
Oh yeah. I'm so sorry the Mavericks stunk at the end of Dirk's run. I'm really sorry that you had to endure that. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, it was tough. We had some tough moments. We definitely did. But Luka came, so that's all.
And Luka came and changed everything. So, before the series, we were both in the same mood. Like, yeah, the Sixers playoff. And then we realized, like, you know what this is, right? We're not cool for the next week. And I told him, I said it was Luka's time. I told him it was Luka's time. And I also told him the Suns were soft. And they proved me right. Y'all got blown out at Game 7 in y'all crib. We didn't even get blown out in Game 7. The Sixers by the Hawks.
Because I ain't gonna front. They scared me the first two, but then when we went back home, I was like, all right, we can beat them.
Oh yeah. Trust me, God, it's like literally it's a piece or two. Like, Wood, you probably need one more defensive wing who can shoot, like a Lou Dort type of guy.
Yeah.
Like one more versatile defender to kind of make up for Luka a little bit more. And then I would say you need one more bucket getter.
Yeah.
Like one more guy who they just coming in, like you get like a Jordan Clarkson or somebody like that, like one more guy like that. And I think the team's complete. Y'all can play great team defense. Luka's your all-world gravity center, bracket buster, code game breaker. So like the offense is taken care of. Getting Tim Hardaway back is going to be big. I think people are going to forget about that.
That's
he
major.
was y'all almost made the finals without Tim Hardaway, and that's 19 a game career average. People forget that Tim Hardaway can hoop. He might be that. You might just be able to get Christian Wood, get that 3-and-D guy, and get Hardaway back, and y'all rock. And Josh Green is one of the bigger keys that no one talks about. If he can develop his athleticism and his shot starts going down, it's a wrap.
Yeah, but I think the only component left for you guys all season is what happens with Jalen Brunson.
You pay him. Mark Cuban ain't never had no problem opening the checkbook up. Don't get it twisted.
He don't. But I think New York going to overpay him. I feel it coming. New York is going to overpay him.
He would fit in Thibodeau's system if Thibodeau would put the ball in his hands.
Yeah, that's the report I've been reading is that they're literally trying to create cap space to make a move to get Jalen Brunson. Hold on. 98.5 WGYM Running Back Sports. Hello?
Hello?
Yo, who's calling?
Hello? Yo, Chris Jordan.
Hey, Jordan, how you doing, man?
What's poppin', man? Long time no hear. What up, guys?
Yeah. Sorry about that, man. We got new hours.
My voice is a bit raspy. I'm a bit under the weather, but I was just listening to you guys, and I agree with everything that you guys are saying as far as the trade for for Christian Wood going to the Mavericks. That's a huge thing because they have an athletic big, and you can move Dwight Powell to the bench. See, the thing about the Mavericks is that they didn't have any rim protection. Nope. See, if you're undersized 5, you have to. You're not gonna get a lot of play. You're not gonna get a lot of plays run for you. But if you're not gonna get a lot of plays run for you, you have to try to affect the game in other areas. Clear the boards, get the rebounds, offensive rebounds. Kevon Looney with my Golden State Warriors is a prime example of that, and Andrew Wiggins. Those two guys are prime examples of like they're not gonna get plays run for them, but they're gonna do all the extra dirt. They're gonna do the dirty work. They're gonna do all the other stuff. Clear the boards, get the offensive rebound, defensive rebound, in other ways to affect the game. So having Christian Wood as your front court, and maybe add another piece, I would agree, like another wing player, and maybe another playmaker. If you're going to run it back with Tim and Dinwiddie and those boys, hopefully they pay Brunson, because Mark Cuban, a little fit. I'm not saying he's cheap, but I could never forgive him because I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan myself. My only gripe with him is the fact that he never ran it back with the 2011 squad, if you remember.
Correct.
Because that's another conversation for another time, but let's hope that he pays Brunson his money and they could run it back again, and maybe they can make another run. But that was a smart move by the Mavericks. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
And congrats to the Golden State Warriors, my team. They fought. I didn't really think they was gonna do it, but congrats to them. I'm extremely proud of those guys, particularly my guy Andrew Wiggins. There were times where this man would get 17 points, 18 points, and it felt like nothing. It felt like, oh, he played in the game. It almost felt like he had 17 points, but you didn't even know that he was playing. Now you empower this guy with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. You insert a number one pick with that core. That's a bit scary. So now, even though that his role was a bit diminished once Clay came back, because now he's trying to figure out, okay, Poole is going on the run. Klay Thompson is gonna be on the starting lineup because he's Klay Thompson, and he was trying to figure it out. But see, now he understands his role. Now that he's an efficient, he's the replacement of Andre Iguodala. He might not be the efficient playmaker that Andre Iguodala is, but like I said, he's going to do everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, clear the boards, help defense, every other thing that you want him to do, he's going to do that. And the way he defended Luka these last two series and Jason Tatum, bravo for that man. I'm extremely happy for him, and that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's good, man. You got any thoughts about any predictions about this coming off season, NFL draft, free agency, anything?
Say that one more time.
Do you have any predictions in regards to the draft on Thursday or free agency coming up next month?
For the draft, Jabari. I'm going to assume that Jabari is going to Orlando. I'm going to assume that Paolo is going to Houston. And Paolo, I'm extremely proud of him. I'm really high on him. I think that, and it only makes sense the reason why they moved Christian Wood, because whatchamacallit, Paolo is a legit, I believe 6'10", so he could be like, so if they want to go small, he could be a legit small ball 5 and play the center. I'm extremely high on him. Chet should be from once reading the tea leaves, he should be going to the Oklahoma City, allegedly, supposedly, which I'm not mad at. They have a little small core over there. They're not really going anywhere, but that's not really a bad place for him to develop. And I was a little bit, I'm not gonna lie to you, Chris, I was a little disappointed that, if you know Timmy from Gonzaga, I was a bit disappointed that he went back to school, because low key I kind of wanted, if he was like maybe the first round, maybe Golden State could pick him up as like the 28th pick, and like I don't know, probably do like a pick and stash and like put him in a G League or someplace like something like that. Because I like Timmy. I don't know. For me, I like bigs that can pass. I like bigs that can make plays off the dribble. Mm-hmm. So I was a little disappointed that he went back. Well, not that disappointed because I know he's a star. But I was a little disappointed this year he went back to school. But I'm not really mad at it. This year's draft isn't as, and I'm happy for even the whole Duke starting five. Williams, forgot the other guy's name.
AJ Griffin.
I'm proud of that Duke starting five. I'm proud of those guys. This year isn't as deep as it was probably last year. It's pretty solid, but it's all right. It's cool. And those are my predictions.
Okay. All right, Jordan. It was good to hear from you, man. And sorry we keep changing the time slot on you.
Huh?
I said it was good hearing from you, but sorry we keep changing the time slot on you.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. And if you're hearing, I know you guys are hearing about the, the whole rumors about what's going to happen with the Nets. Hopefully, and whatchamacallit, I'm not really mad at them at all. I'm not really mad at them at all.
Kyrie or Brooklyn?
And take charge of their own organization and can't let this guy come in there. We're not saying he's just some ordinary guy. This guy, Kyrie Irving, is box office, but at some point in time, sacrifice is the key to winning, but sacrifice is also a choice. Mm-hmm. So if you choose to see, one of the hardest things of being part of a team, you know this, Chris, more than anything, being in a group environment, constantly choosing everyone else before yourself. Mm-hmm. You constantly have to choose everyone else before yourself. And in multiple occasions, Kyrie chose himself over the team. Mm-hmm. So at some point in time, the Nets got to put their foot down and say, yo, we got to take control of this. This is getting out of hand. Unless you're willing to commit with us, we ain't gonna give you no full max contract. So I ain't mad at it.
Definitely, man. Jordan, it was good hearing from you. Take care of yourself. All right.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
All right, man. It's always good to hear from Jordan. Once again, you're listening to 98.5 WJYN, the Running Back Sports Show, Sports for the Culture. If you want to call join the discussion, that number is simple, 215-763-9596.
The Clippers are the title favorite next year.
I believe it. They healthy. Yeah, I can see that happening.
Nobody cares anymore now. They're healthy. They got all the tools. All their guys are. The quotations are healthy.
Yes.
I mean, if Kawhi's not healthy, then what I'm saying right now matters nothing. But if you got a healthy Kawhi, a healthy PG, now those guys got experience. You got Boston's got confidence, who can ease a bucket. Terrence Mann definitely has that confidence. Yep. Reggie Jackson's playing the best basketball of his career. Marcus Morris, Luke Kennard, all these guys are smart and can defend, and they like playing for Ty Lue, who's an experienced championship level coach. They need a piece or two. You need maybe one more big man behind Zubac.
I mean, they've already got it. They got Norman Powell, Robert Covington during the trade deadline.
I forgot about that. Ooh. They got all the wing depth. I just think like when you got to play somebody like, say if y'all retain DeAndre Ayton. I know. I'm just trying to I'm not gonna say the Jazz because nobody's afraid of the Jazz. So it's just like,
honestly, the Jazz are
if you playing Jokic, Zubac can't do that for 48 minutes. You gotta have somebody else that could. If you playing us and you got to play against Joe, you can't expect you go small and try to make Joe work, but then he's just going to eat.
Honestly, with all the Rudy Gobert rumors, I'm surprised they didn't throw their names in the hat.
Because I think the Jazz would try to fleece them. They would mess up. They realize what they would have to give up to get Gobert. They'd lose all their depth. Like let's say what this trade looks like because Rudy's on the max, right? Mm-hmm. So you'd have to match salaries, right, or come close.
Yeah.
So let's say you go Marcus Morris, Kennard, maybe like one or two of young guys, Zubac.
Yeah, they would have to get rid of Zoo.
You'd have to get rid of Zoo and then maybe throw in either Boston or Terrence Mann. That's gutting. That's all the depth. You got you have left Covington, Powell.
Okay, so it'll be Reggie Jackson, Paul George.
Mm-hmm. Paul George, Kawhi. Covington,
and
Powell.
and Rudy Gobert. You got
And
yeah,
Rudy
you got
Gobert.
you can have Norman Powell like come off the bench.
Where your guard play coming from?
Listen, with that lineup, you will be willing to have people come in and play for a minimum, because at that point, you're 1 through 4. Like that's the one thing Rudy Gobert will have that he never had in Utah, where it's like everybody on that 1 through 4 can
defend.
and then even if somebody blows past, you can just funnel into Rudy Gobert either on the baseline or like on the drive.
Ooh. Well, Rudy Gobert, like we were talking the other week about like best fits. Would the best, like obviously the Toronto fit is like cheating. That'd be a cheat code. But
I mean, Boston will be a cheap fit also. But
there's a world where you could play him and Time Lord together. If you played Tatum, Brown, and Smart, you could play him and Time Lord together.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure if Utah makes that if Boston calls, they're probably going to want Time Lord.
That's fair. I would.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Utah team with Time Lord, I'm not gonna say they're like, oh, they're so much better, but I don't think they're worse than when they have Gobert. Gobert's effect and impact on the game is the weirdest thing to tangibly measure in the NBA. Because it's like all the stats and all the numbers, and you kind of see it sometimes on the eye test. But then when it really comes down to it, you just like, man, Joe just gave you 40. Oh, man, Jokic just gave you 35, 17, and 9. Like,
And you're supposed to be a defensive
you're
center.
supposed to be this boy. Like, I don't know. DeAndre Ayton was giving you 22 and 11 in the playoffs.
Right.
I don't like this.
You want to know that point where it's like, yeah, this is going to haunt Rudy Gobert for the rest of his life in regards to any sort of value or validity throughout his career. That Clipper series. Tyronn Lue told him every single time, yo, when you come off that pick and roll, he's going to drop. So just mid-range him to death. Because we all know Rudy Gobert's not going to pull himself out of the paint.
Yep, he can't defend the perimeter. I feel like in a positionless NBA, right? The best player can come from any position. But I feel like when you start talking about best defensive player, I feel like it has to be somebody who can guard 1 through 5 effectively.
Giannis.
Yeah.
Ben is up there.
Yeah.
Jimmy is up there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Kawhi, when he's healthy, is up there. These are guys that you can put them on anybody in the league on any given night. Even, and I'm not saying like Kawhi could guard Joel for 48 minutes, but I guarantee you he's going to make him work for a possession or two, cause a turnover,
PG
cause an
if he
offensive
try.
foul.
Yeah.
PG if he's really locked in.
Yeah, if he lock in.
If he's
PG.
locked in, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like those are guys to me.
Shoot, even Al Horford, even at this age.
Those are guys who I feel like when you talk about the best defensive players, I think the thing that bothers a lot of, I don't want to start the whole pure hoop versus analytical people thing, but like a lot of people who just like, man, if I can't play you in certain series, how are you the best defensive player in the league?
That's true.
If I have to take you off the floor to give me an advantage or even make the game even with another team in a playoff series, you can't be the best defensive player in the league.
Because just imagine Miami versus Utah.
They would eat them alive.
Yep.
If that was the finals, it would be a sweep. It would eat
Bam
them alive.
would go off on Rudy.
He would go off. We'd be catching lobs on him and everything. He'd be pinning his shot. What shots? First of all, what sets do you run for Rudy Gobert? That like, and I get it. Not everybody's an offensive guy, but like, I'm not paying a super max to somebody who can't get their own shot. That's crazy to me. Like in the history of the NBA, I'm really trying to think about it. There's been a lot of guys who got max contracts who didn't deserve it, right, or whatever the case may be. Like, and then obviously defensive guys didn't used to get paid as much. Like Robin, I'm sure got paid for a defensive guy back in the day, stuff like that. Has anyone ever gotten a max contract besides Ben Simmons who can't create, and he can at least create his own shot?
Yeah,
Rudy
he
Gobert
can get you a buck. Yeah, Ben can at least get you a buck in the transition.
Rudy Gobert cannot create his own shot. It has to come off a pick and roll dump off or a lob or a putback. He cannot create. He got his hook. His post game moves are terrible. He has no hook shot. He has no mid range jumper. He has no face up jumper.
It's all putback.
250 million. So when these older guys, the Steven Jacksons, the Shaqs, people who've spoken on this and been like, I don't know about that. It's like, oh, y'all bad because he get the bad. No, just look at the facts where it's like people talked about the fact that Shaq couldn't shoot free throws for years as a reason he shouldn't get paid.
You're big.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna make a quick point. Like you're basically paying double the money for Rudy Gobert, which you can get at half price for Jared Allen.
Facts, because I would rather have Jared Allen over Rudy Gobert in a heartbeat.
Yep. Exactly. Jared Allen has a little bit of a post up game.
Yep.
A little bit of a face up game. He can hit a 10 to 15 foot jumper.
Yep.
He can shoot from the line. He can catch lobs. He's
more athletic.
Very
you can run the floor with him, and he can go out to the perimeter if you need to. Miles Turner is better than Rudy Gobert. Put it like that. If you really think about it, He can block the same amount of shots. He can make up the same amount of defensive rotations. He can shoot the 3 ball. He can shoot from the line, and he has an actual post game, and he can actually pass. That's why I say, like,
I'd rather have Steven Adams also.
system and fit is
Steven Adams,
dude. System and fit is everything. Quinn Snyder is a great defensive coach. They funnel everything to the post. That's what these guys are taught from Bogdanovich all the way down. Jeff Ingles, whoever, Clarkson, they might not be good defenders. Snyder's like, funnel everything to Rudy, and you will be fine. Run everybody off the 3-point lines, force them into the paint. They're either going to kill us with the mid-range or they're going to be forced to go to the basket.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, you put Miles Turner in that system, honestly, the Jazz are a better team.
Yeah, because Miles Turner can step up.
Yep. He can step up. Now you got a guy who I can play drop or I can blitz, or we can now blitz that pick and roll at the top.
Or you could switch.
Or you could switch everything. Then your weak link is Mitchell, and then he would be more glaring on defense at that point. You're switching everything now.
Yeah.
But that's a whole.
Even on offense, Miles Turner can stand at the 3.
Yep.
Opens up the lane.
Opens up the lane.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually a threat in the pick and roll. He can pick and pop. He can hit that trail 3 like we talked about. The trail 3 is probably the like most underutilized weapon in the NBA because not only a couple big guys, but only a couple of big guys really hit it at an efficient clip.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like with the
It's
whole
like-
Gobert,
It's like it goes from like Karl Anthony Towns, then to like Jokic,
Yeah,
Embiid,
then
and then there's like a drop off.
Porzingis, and guys
Porzingis.
like that, the 27.
Yeah, then you go
30% range.
to like the average part, like which is like Sabonis.
Exactly. Like, what surprise teams do you think are either going to turn it around or look better next year? I'll give you let's see. Let's look at the bottom half.
All right. Ooh, we got a caller. Hello, 98.5 WJYM, Running Back Sports. Hello? Oh. Well, whoever just called in, if you want to call back, just same number. We're here. All right, surprise teams.
So, bottom of the East, let's start there. So I'm going to name teams that I'm not going to name any teams in the play-in because I feel like they're not a surprise because I feel like a
They
couple
right
games
there.
go your
They
different
right
way.
there.
You're a 6 or 7.
Well,
seed, right?
it depends on what the playing team.
Well, I feel like, all right, let's just start from anybody who didn't make the playoffs then.
Okay.
All right. So, Cavs at 9. I don't think they count as a surprise team. I
No.
think you could argue that they're a development or a piece away from being not contenders, but hey, we're gonna make it to the second round.
I feel like they take another step next year.
yeah,
in the
exactly.
Yeah, you're gonna know Evan Mobley's gonna take that step. You get Colin Sexton back healthy, coming off the bench.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like if you do all of that, you're still gonna be in a playing team, but I think you're gonna at least have a game at home.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
they're gonna be a different team next year for sure.
How we feel about the Hornets?
It depends on who their coach is. Because I heard they interviewing D'Antoni now.
Well, which sucks because Kenny Atkinson was like, nah. And it's
Yeah,
just
like that's weird.
and
Like,
I felt like he would have been perfect, especially what he did with that young Brooklyn squad. And this, the Hornets team's kind of similar, like they real young and they confident and they kind of just play free flow ball.
You know what my nightmare is? Cassell takes that job.
Cassell would turn LaMelo into a monster though.
Yes.
Because then he'd convince him to work on his mid range.
Yeah.
If he gets a midi game, it's over. Him being as good and as adept as he is to the NBA, like even as much spacing as there is now, and obviously you have like the Luka quote from a couple years ago, where like I feel like it's easier for me to get to my spots in the NBA than it was in FIBA.
Yeah.
For LaMelo to have looked like for his draft stock to have fallen the way it felt like it fell, and then for like all the pandemic stuff for them to be the pandemic draft class, and then for him to come in and be like, oh no, I could ball the whole time. I just didn't feel like it until I was getting paid for it.
exactly.
It's
Like
crazy.
he put those. Like he's like, I already put the work in, but now I'm gonna show y'all.
When I actually have to, because now I'm getting that check clear.
I'm getting
Watch this.
$5 million. to check.
LeVar Ball was right.
LeVar Ball was right.
He was right. He said he was
right.
the best one.
He said it from the rip. He said, shoot, y'all like Lonzo. You ain't seen nothing. Wait till the baby get here. And he was right.
Both his sons were number 2 overall picks.
That's awesome. And Jello's gotten a couple of shots, and obviously he's probably not starving. So it's like, shout out LeVar Ball, especially with Father's Day being on Sunday, man. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
you
man.
can say whatever you want about him, but he put his kids in a position that if he's, God forbid, going to there tomorrow, they good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like Lonzo literally became one of my favorite players to like watch in the league.
I love Lonzo's game, man.
I feel like
Unselfish.
I feel like he got
He
a
shoot
raw
the
deal
three.
in LA, but since he left, you definitely seen the development in his game. He's getting better and
Now,
better.
the thing
every
that
year.
scares me is the Bulls. I don't know if y'all saw the report. Maybe like this was like early in the playoffs, where like the Bulls are kind of concerned about the
his
knee.
knee. That's what I was about to get to.
Yeah.
So they kind
I
of like
did see
getting
that.
buyer's remorse, kind of like, oh, if that knee ain't right, which I understand because like if he's healthy, incredibly hyped.
I feel like,
about him.
if he's healthy, doing the things he do, that's an all-star level point guard. Him and his brother. I want to see both those guys
in an All-Star game together. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Like, I want to see him run a break and like Lonzo goes like a oop to LaMelo. That'd be dope.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. And coming in at 11, the Knicks. Now, the Knicks to me are the most confusing and weird team in the NBA because it's like from year to year, you had last year, which was so hopeful, and then being a playoff team and all of that stuff. And then this year was just an abject disaster. I mean, the obvious bright spot was RJ Barrett. I think turning the corner. Now, I don't know if he's ever going to be, especially because the two guys drafted in front of him, well, obviously Zion, when he's been on the court, have been generational.
Yeah.
So for him being, I think 22 a game last year is like, oh, that's okay. But it's like he's developing how you would think a 21-year-old basketball player would develop.
Yeah.
And the best way I can say it is Jason Tatum, he's to me on the same trajectory as Jason Tatum. If you really think about it, it's just Tatum automatically came into an organization where everything was already structured. It was already in place. He just had to play his role and not mess it up.
Yeah.
And then by the time it was time for him to take more responsibility each time, he for all the faults, and obviously he, was bad the last half of that finals. His development is how a young guy should be able to develop.
Yeah.
Like, unless you a Luka, a LeBron, somebody where they could just come and be like, here you go, take the keys, it's all yours. Like, that's how you should develop a star.
Yeah.
It really is. Like,
and the thing is that the guy was around the 50 to 60% free throw shooter. That obviously changed up to at least the high 70s.
Exactly.
And the thing is that the most confusing thing about the Knicks is that 2 years ago when they had home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs, it was all about Julius Randle.
Yep.
And now you're seeing that switch. It kind of is a 180 now. So it's like Julius Randle's kind of like on his way out and like not on the favoritism in terms of Knicks fans anymore. And now it's all about RJ Barrett.
Well, that's my question. Where is he going?
That's what I was just about to say. What do you do with Randle? Because you just paid him $100 million.
Yeah.
You can't keep him there.
Now you want to talk about contracts, people don't. But once again, I say fit, environment, and chance is three things that make it. Andrew Wiggins' story should be a testament that you have to be in the right location, the right situation. Sometimes, sometimes you're in this can't transcend situation. I get that. Sometimes people need to be around the right people to succeed. Julius Randle, I think, should go to San Antonio.
Okay.
And the reason I say now, I don't know how much longer Pop has left, but Pop is always willing to compete. He's always willing to give you shots to score or get the ball as long as you play defense. But he's also smart enough to not play his guys into the ground. And I think that's the difference between him and Thibodeau. I think they match up on a lot. And I also think he'll make the offense easier for Julius Randle.
Yeah.
I think that'd be perfect. Now, I don't know
what Dejounte Murray's a perfect dance partner for him.
Exactly. Now, with that being said, I don't know what the Knicks would want from the Spurs besides DeJounte Murray to get him. Now, you could package like Keldon, Lonnie,
Pirtle just to make the money work.
And not every pick ever, but like a nice amount of picks and see what happens. And I think if the Knicks just kind of accept the fact that it's like, all right, let's just tear it all down, go young. I even have to fire Thibodeau too. Because Thibodeau's problem is his best attribute is his worst attribute in a lot of ways. So what I mean when I say that is when he took the Chicago job, right?
Yeah.
You had D-Rose come in. You had a generational guy come in. So you automatically could focus on winning if that made sense. You didn't have to develop any guys. But the best way I can say this is who did he actually help develop? And I'm not trying to knock it. Like obviously Jimmy got better under him. D-Rose got better. Joe Kill. But I say,
dang, had all-star appearance under him.
What I ask when I say that to me when I got better is he's got to be in a lot of ways where if he has talent set in place, he's not dumb. He understands how to let those guys do what they do and just ball out. But is he the guy you want to build a winning culture with and around? Is he a Steve Kerr? Is he a Pop? Is he one of those guys that guys are gonna develop? Jimmy got burnt out. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy's missed I'll play 48, but he got burnt out. Derrick Rose, I'm gonna say this. Part of his knee injury was probably the minutes he was playing under Tibbs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean,
even in that game, he shouldn't even have been still playing.
That's what I'm saying. They were blowing us out already. They were up 20.
Yeah, they were up 20. It was like 90 seconds left to go, and then bang.
Boom. So it's just like stuff like that. He's his own worst enemy. It's for everything that you can say that he does for your team, he does just as much bad. It's like a person you date where it's just like, man, I love you so much, but like we just not good
for me.
exactly. Yeah. And I think if the Knicks really went now, if the Knicks was the Knicks and they could just go out in free agency this year and be like, all right, let's get 2-3 superstars, and then we could.
If this was the 2011 Knicks, this would be perfect.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, all right, we already tailor-made to win. We just got to add a piece or two. We got a veteran coach who's going to defend, teach the guys to defend the system. Boom. But you have RJ Barrett, who's young. Now, mind you, I think the good thing is like Doug Collins was very hard on Mike at first. Yeah. And I think it prepared him to play for Phil. And I'm not comparing RJ Barrett to Michael Jordan. I'm saying that to say that sometimes a young guy has to go through something with a certain coach, and then that next coach is the coach that's really ready to take him to that next level.
Yeah.
AI didn't have Larry Brown at first, but when AI first came in the league, I forgot who our original coach was at that time. He's blanking on me. But Larry came and unlocked that next level for him. Same thing with Shaq and them. They had Rudy Tomjanovich, and then Phil came there, and then boom. So I think
you could probably say the same thing for Steph. Mark Jackson
and then
unlocked it, and Steve Kerr took it to another level.
Exactly. So I think the Knicks, if they want guys like you got Quickly there, you got Toppin, these guys got playoff experience. They know how to defend now because of Thibodeau. You bring in somebody that's going to unlock them and let them play their own game. I think they got shot in New York.
It was John Lucas and Johnny Davis before Larry Brown.
Johnny Davis.
Wow. Really?
Jeez.
Lucas?
Now, number 12 might be the weirdest team in the league. Like, just weird because it's like, I don't know what they doing or what they trying to do, but they just like, it's weird. The Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Everything about the whole organization just on some weird stuff. It's very weird. It's a lot of weirdness going on. They don't want to grip on the Bradley Beal, but they clearly would entertain offers from him.
I was against the trade for Spencer Dinwiddie for Porzingis, but then it turned out well. So now it's like you got Porzingis and Bradley Beal. What are you going to do?
That's such a weird tandem. Like, neither one of them is a one.
It's the land of misfit toys over there.
They're just like both really good twos.
Yeah. It's like you got that thing. You got Kyle Kuzma. You got Montrezl. Well, Montrezl Harrell is gone.
But he was there.
He was there. Like even the other day, we were over Chris's house and we're playing 2K, and I picked the Wizards, and I'm just like, what is this team, yo? Like, it was just like, I don't
even know who's on their team besides Bradley.
Cody Kispert, young dude, Denny Avdia, Rui Hachimura, who's one of my favorite players in the league.
Thomas Bryant
when he comes back. Like, it's weird that like they have pieces, and this is a team that not
Scott Brooks
year,
is their coach.
This is a team that not this year, but the year before last was like top 5 in offense. They got bucket getters, and they can score with you. So, and what it's funny because you get rid of Russ, obviously, and you do that move to get Kuzma and all of that good stuff. The best version of this team with Beal and whatever you were willing to get or not willing to get or whatever the case may be, right, probably was with Russ.
It was.
Because Beal didn't care about having the ball in his hands because he's a pick and pop guy anyway, or catch and shoot guy, but he can also get his own shot. Russ was able to set up the offense when he wasn't there. It was the closest thing he had to him and John Wall, so it was a comfortable role for him.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. Like, the Wizards haven't been the same since John Wall got hurt.
Yeah.
And because of that, they've doubled down on Bradley Beal no matter what the situation is because they know without Bradley Beal, they're a perpetual lottery team. But in the reality is that the worst thing you want to be in the NBA, we experienced this,
is mediocre.
Is not be the worst team in the league or just be barely making it to the playoffs.
Once we traded the 07 to 2013 Sixers were just a weird experience. It was some awesome times in there, like Iggy and Andre Miller was a great vet, and it was Drew Holiday. Like, it was some good times in there, but it was just weird because it was like, well, we know we're not going to win a championship, but we also know like we're not going to suck enough to get someone to help us win a championship. And I think the Wizards are in that same. If you just trade Bradley Beal this summer, I promise you, first of all, that roster's so bad, you're gonna stink. But obviously, with the Porzingis trade, they're gonna try to go at this with a healthy Bradley Beal. What do they got? The 6th or 7th pick, something like that this year. Whoever this lottery guy is, and go at it. I kind of respect it. I'm not mad about it. Like, even the Pelicans kind of showed you, like, no, were the Pelicans ever really probably gonna beat the Suns? No. But like, hey, you can have a rough season, make some moves, get in the plan, and you never know. You might, let's say CP3 and Book go down the same weekend, the first 3 games they not playing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
you never know.
Yeah, but that's different trajectory though. It's like, all right, you still got even when you lose that season, you still got Brandon Ingram, who's still 25 going into his prime. and your best player, your franchise player, still hasn't played yet. Is Zion Williamson.
That
And
move
now-
to CJ was big.
Yeah, and now you
Yeah,
got
really
CJ,
big.
who
Really big.
like
Yeah,
I know
he
we
can
make fun
show,
of.
like
He's
it's not
a
just
co-
Dame.
no,
it was
he's
me too.
no. Not even that. Because on court, CJ
Yeah.
can ball.
Exactly.
He's gonna help them the most in that locker room.
Yeah,
They
Right.
got
we
a
make a
real
lot of
vet
jokes
now.
about this, but he's a legitimate pillar of the community.
No, like he's actually like we make the joke, the pillar of the community and all with Tobias Harris, but like he's actually the perfect type of vet for all them dudes to see.
yeah,
He is the vet on that team.
yeah, and you saw like during that play, like they had no fear at all. Like Jose Alvarado, Jackson Hayes.
They're gonna be coming next year.
Yeah.
And if they get a health, and Zion's now talking, he sees what's going on. He like, oh, let me chill because they building something here. Let me chill out.
Yeah, you know how much you want to pay me? Cool, I'll chill.
By the way, they gotta give David Griffin like because when people starting to take a L, everybody's quick to jump on and be like, oh, look at you. So just as quick as we was the quick giving this L, give him his dub. He
Yeah,
turned this team
yeah,
around, and
yeah.
now they got some pieces going for him. And
Yeah, and they had the number 8 pick in the draft also.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh, another interesting team. What the Pacers?
For the life of me, I don't understand why the Kings traded Halliburton. That's great for the Pacers.
No, incredible. And he's
It's
the perfect
perfect for the
location for him to
Pacers.
go.
I mean, what exactly did you give up to even get him to weekend when you gave up Sabonis, in which you were already trying to figure out, like, between Miles Turner and Sabonis, who you're going to get rid of anyway?
Right. Because
I'm
the
still
Kings is
shocked that
already
they
talking
picked
about
Turner.
getting rid of Davion Mitchell for Jordan Poole now. So it's like you gave up Halliburton. Now you're still in like a mist of guards. But back to the Pacers, Halliburton is the franchise player.
Yep.
I see that. If they don't keep Miles Turner, that's fine.
What do you do with Malcolm Brogdon, huh?
I'm trading
You
him.
paying him
You gotta
$84
move
million.
You got to move him.
To be honest, listen, if it ain't Halliburton, if it ain't Chris Duarte, in real talk, I'm keeping Miles Turner because I need a perimeter. I need
Yeah,
like a rim
yeah.
protector.
Everybody else could go.
Everybody else can go. TJ Warren's a free agent. Cool. You can
Let
leave.
him
Buddy
walk.
Hill takes your shots. That's fine.
Exactly. Buddy Hield, lightning 3-point shooter. Buddy with Halliburton setting them up. Cool. Those are my 4 guys. After that, I'll just rebuild this team from scratch. And that's
TJ Warren reminds me a lot of Tobias, a little bit.
I trust. It sounds weird. I trust TJ Warren to score.
I
more
would too,
efficiently than
yeah.
Tobias.
I
the
would.
difference is that free agency wise, Warren's going to cost half of what Tobias.
costs.
That's the biggest problem with the whole Tobias thing. My thing about the Pacers is I like Rick Carlisle because I trust that he'll get whatever he is the dude, bring out the rag or whatever team you give him. So he's going to develop young guys. So it's up to this management, which always kind of does a good job of finding little key guys here and there, developing
Yeah.
guys, the Danny Grangers, the Paul Georges, like
The George Hills.
the Georgia, they
George Hill,
always
yeah.
kind of know when and where to pick their spots.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to see
They
because
convinced Roy Hibbert was an
What-
all-star
what pick-
center for
what
a few
pick does the
months.
He
Pacers
was for real.
what pick do the Pacers have? The
They
league
have-
just
They
changed.
have the number 6 pick.
Okay, the league just changed really fast on Roy Hibbert. To explain the Roy Hibbert thing, the league didn't like it. It went from like, man, Roy Hibbert's an effective player in a playoff series, a game 7 to go to the finals, to wow, you can't guard anybody on the perimeter now, and everybody's just letting you go on drop coverage.
I'm like, dang, you have 0 points and 1 rebound.
This is wild. His body
Yeah.
broke down too. So that was part of it. But I'm anxious to see because, like you said, Halliburton I think is a great leader. I want to see who I want to see what Duarte is going to develop into the second year with now clearly more responsibility, more starts, probably going to be
Yeah.
starting. And I want to see who they get that 6th pick because if they get an impact score like the dude Shaden Sharp, I don't know if he's going to be around this 6.
Yeah.
People are predicting around 4.
Yeah.
Or one of those like explosive. What's the dude from Kansas? Their number 1 guy.
Ochai Abaji.
Yeah, like somebody explosive like that. Like I just you never see the Pacers with like besides when they have PG, you never see the Pacers with like an explosive killer athlete type of dude.
Yeah.
So that's my big points for the Pacers. I'm anxious to see how they move. The Pistons. I think the Pistons got a chance to go from worst to first, not worst to first next year, but like to
In the midst
compete.
of something.
Because I'm telling Kate one of them ones.
Yeah.
I did like what I like to call like my retrospective of the league, like player because you be so locked in on your team and like work and everything going on. You don't really get to see and sit down with everybody. So like all the rookies or players who developed or got better, I kind of sit down and watch their highlights and see what they're doing. Man, Cade Tape is different.
He would have
Especially
rookie of
once
the year
he-
if he'd
If
played
he'd
the
have
whole
played
year.
the whole year, because once he got it and once he was comfortable, it was over.
Yeah.
Once he was comfortable, it was over. He could do
Who
everything.
won? Scotty Barnes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scotty Barnes won. But once he was,
I don't hate that, but yeah.
I don't hate that either. But once he was comfortable, it was over. His jumper started falling. He was setting guys up. He could get to the basket. His handle is underrated. He's strong on the drive. Like he can do everything at a good to great level.
Yeah,
it's like kind of awesome to see. And you could see, like, I was watching one interview where they were like breaking down film with him, and even just his mind for the game. Like he's one of those gravity guys. He's gonna be a Luka LeBron. Like I don't know if he'll have that level of success, but that team is gonna be fundamentally built on him driving that system. Now
they got Sadiq. Who's
Sadiq
relevant.
Bey. Yeah.
I like Sadiq a lot.
I
Didn't
do
he have
too.
51?
Yeah.
Jeremy Grant, like they got range, athleticism.
I think
Killian
Grant's
Hayes.
going to get traded somewhere.
I think, man, I think
they should.
I think they should throw the bag at DeAndre.
Ayton.
Because I was thinking about a bunch of team fits. Obviously, Atlanta that would be an awesome fit. Get rid of Capella and Reason with Ayton. So now you got somebody who can efficiently score the mid range. You can still kind of do lives and then trade with it. That'd be an awesome fit. But I think the second best fit for him would be Detroit. Dwayne Casey's a great coach. We'll have him in the right places defensively the same way that Monty did. Cade will be able to set him up a lot of the same ways that CP did. He can cover a lot of that back rim stuff.
Yeah, then I like
guys who can switch around him too as well.
And more, I like Stewart, but I feel like he's a lot better as a backup center.
Because like, just imagine this lineup, and I don't know what you do at two guard. Like, do you have Hayes at the one?
They have the number 5
Hayes
overall pick, so you could just
let's say rookie two guards. Let's say Sharp versus one of these guys,
right?
Cade Cunningham, Grant, Bay, and Ayton. Woo, that's a nice lineup.
That's a playing team.
You could defend, you could score, you could run in transition. Like you could pretty much do a little bit of everything with that squad. Now shooting might be a thing, but you could get shooting off the bench. But that's why I say that they could go worst to first or like worst to maybe I wouldn't be surprised if they was like a 7 or 8 seed and probably lost in the play-in or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that with Detroit.
Yeah, I could definitely see that for Detroit.
We're not Detroit.
The Magic, who?
This is one of the most confusing teams.
So speaking of
up there with the
confusing,
Wizards, up there with the Wizards, they're so confusing.
I don't know what they're trying to do.
What is their roster? They
So
got like
you
7
got
centers, 8
Mo
power
Bamba,
forwards.
No, they got like 20. They got like 15 guards.
Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter, and somebody else I'm missing.
You are
Mo-
Kim Birch,
Mo Wagner,
Mo Wagner.
Yeah, you got to move one of them.
Markel Fultz, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs,
RJ
then
Hampton.
RJ Hampton.
The long jam at guards, like,
And then you have like no wings. You got like Jonathan Isaac.
who
and that's
stays
it.
hurt.
Who stays hurt. This is the weirdest team. And the thing is, their players are so underdeveloped and what's what I'm looking for? Like not coveted. Like you can't get rid of nobody. The only you like Mo Bamba, it's like they're in such a bad situation. Obviously, if you draft Chet, it won't really matter as much. But like the guy who you saw the most progress from last year, besides Cole Anthony, because I think Cole is probably the only guy who's made himself untouchable in this roster. Is that fair?
Yeah.
I think they gave Jalen another year, but he's a rookie.
Yeah, I think when you coming off that first year, unless you like Anthony Bennett bust bad, you kind of get the benefit out control.
Oh yeah, I forgot. They still got Terrence Ross.
And Terrence Ross, I forgot. Yeah,
this is the word. They might have the worst.
And I don't know why he's. I guess he ain't requesting the trade, but I can see Terrence Ross.
I mean, at this point, like, listen, he
team.
making good money. Like some dudes don't really. You gotta think some dudes not upset now. He might be thinking different. He also might just be professional. We're like, listen, I'm here.
Right.
I mean, hey, he's in Florida, Disney World right there. Like, who
He
cares?
probably got kids. You know what I'm saying? He chilling,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
no
mean-
state tax. Like, why leave? If the Lakers don't want me, or the Suns, or the Warriors,
Like a
or
top team,
Boston,
yeah.
like
Or
they don't
Miami.
want me, or Miami, I might as well stay here. What I'm gonna go to Cleveland? No disrespect, like when I'm gonna be an AC in the playoffs and live in Cleveland.
Yeah,
That's what you gotta think about in the NBA. A lot of these, I would never. Man, what?
no, I'll be like Terrence Ross.
19. Then we won 19 games last year. Y'all
I'm
want to go to
collecting
Disney
this
World?
check. Yeah, exactly. I'm collecting this check. I'm in Disney World.
I mean, I'm not. Nope. I'll be on the Magic in a heartbeat. They'd be like, hey, he signs his 6th straight 1-year deal with the Magic just to make them think I'm gonna leave every time.
Yeah, I'm doing 1-1. I'm gonna sign this 1-year deal, play option. I'm gonna opt out, then get more money.
Yeah,
Exactly. Every time. All right. So the Western Conference teams that did not make the playoffs.
Okay.
Let's start with the Los Angeles Clippers, since we talked about them earlier. Obviously,
Do we really need to talk about them?
I mean, worst to first, actual worst to first chance, and they weren't worse. They were 42-40 team with a gang of injuries.
Without
Paul
they-
George
is a 62
without
win
their
team
star
this year.
player, not their second star, without their star player.
And without the second star for a lot of them.
Exactly.
Because PG was hurt a lot of the season.
Yeah.
So I would say they got to they're my title favorites next year, just so everybody knows. Because obviously you got to put Golden State. I think like you always have to put the champs back at 1, unless something catastrophic happens.
Well, in the words of Shaq, we're the chance to win.
So somebody beats us. Exactly. The Clippers. I know this sounds funny to people, and you can make fun of it and be like, "Ha ha, yeah, all right." The Lakers, you have to say it
Yeah,
because with Anthony Davis and LeBron on the floor, I don't care what you say, they're gonna have a chance to be better next year. And trust, LeBron heard all of it. He see all this Steph Curry taught LeBron the rings. And
I know he did. He just-
I mean,
I'm gonna believe that Bron got a bounce back year in him until he stops bouncing back. I think that's a fair assumption.
I mean, didn't we say the Lakers were going to bounce back like at the start of the year?
what you mean? No, they made a terrible decision by letting all their wing and defenders and guys who made their defense awesome go.
Yeah, and now they're top heavy with salary because Russell Westbrook's going to opt. It's not stupid. It's going to opt into that $47 million, which is going to cap string him.
I think he will play better next year.
You would hope so.
I
mean,
He
you can't
needs
play any worse.
he and
That's not true.
and to be honest, he can play worse. He
could
didn't
totally
play
worse.
terrible, but it wasn't Russ.
Mhm.
So I definitely see him.
But I also
playing
think
better.
he was in a weird position where he's so used to having the ball like
That's
Right.
that's the problem. Like, I don't think him and LeBron's styles don't match up together
no,
because neither one of those guys at this point.
unless LeBron plays off the ball.
which he won't do.
He's not gonna do that anymore. Because
Yeah.
his game is now because he don't like when it was him and D-Wade, he could let D-Wade run the offense and run backdoor cuts for lobs and stuff like that. His body ain't like that no more.
Yeah.
His kind of body just not like
yeah,
that.
neither one of their bodies is like that anymore. So it's like even if you want Russ to be that pit bull guy, like go in transition, get in somebody's face, this is Oklahoma City Russ anymore. So
Right.
Exactly. The San Antonio Spurs was this Pop's last year, right?
I don't know.
I don't think.
Oh,
so.
he didn't make it out. I thought he made it out. I love Pop with these young guys, man, because I feel like his thing is like, all right, I don't know if any of y'all guys ever going to be a Duncan or a Kawhi, but I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to give y'all as much basketball. One thing I'll be interested to see is like any of the Spurs guys from this era, whether they stay to it as a team and eventually find success. Any of these guys leave and go to contribute to either deep playoff teams or championship teams, you'll know that was that Pop influence. Whether you see a Keldon Johnson in a couple years helping in the finals, or a Lonnie Walker on a team, or a DeJounte Murray eventually getting to that type of team. I feel like the basketball knowledge that you get from Pop, you're going to be able to see it on that stage. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that's dope for this team because I just feel like I don't know what pick they have. What pick did the Spurs have?
Let me double-
Prime example: Derek White on Boston.
That was my favorite part of that Boston run where I'm like, I hate this because it's Boston, but I'm like, this is cool because
Yeah, when I
This
saw
is
that
the-
move and all, like during the break, I'm like, ooh, that's sneaky.
that's sneaky good.
They have the 9th pick, by the way.
They have the 9th pick. So, maybe Pop can hit on something and, recharge the old batteries and see what happens.
Okay,
but
let's see. According to mock draft, according to CBS, because I'm not paying for ESPN Plus at all. They're projected to get a power forward, Keegan Murray,
Arizona State, right?
Iowa.
Oh, Iowa.
6'8", power forward, 23, 8 rebounds. Normal shooting 40% from 3.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
That'll be good for them to develop.
Also, putting my bid in, Josh Primo, most improved player for next year.
I like Josh Primo.
Yeah, I did too.
I'm not going to hold you. I agree with you. We're going to skip the Lakers because we just talked about the Lakers. The Kings. One of the other weirdest teams in the league.
I'm going to just – oh, no. Anyway, next team.
Let me ask y'all a question:
Oh, shoot.
if the Kings offered Halliburton to the Sixers for Simmons and a couple other pieces, of course, would y'all took that instead of Harden?
Yes.
Okay.
In hindsight, yeah. I thought Harden was playing possum in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
That was why
no,
I thought I
agree.
was the smartest guy in the room. I'm like, watch, he gonna get here and be like, all right, I'm James Harden again. I was like, dang, that's messed up for Brooklyn, but I
Nah.
will. And it was like, oh no, your body really is like deteriorating very quickly. Oh man, you are 70 now.
Yeah.
Wowzer.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
This is me with a sword. This is what I was doing when that deal came out. I was like, oh, Halliburton, or you can have Harden. I was the only person, Jamal could tell you this. I was the only person that wanted Halliburton. And because the thing is that after Halliburton, after De'Aaron Fox, the next biggest asset that the Kings have was draft picks. So, and the thing is that if you don't have cap space, at least have the ability to be flexible. With Ben Simmons will get what he wants. Technically, Sacramento's in California, so Ben will be in California. With Tyrese Halliburton, you get a point guard now to be able to set up the offense. And it's a young guy to help develop going forward. So even when Joel Embiid is slowly going out of his prime,
Him and Maxey would have been an awesome.
him and Maxey will be developing into his prime and into their own. That's a heck of a backcourt. And then you have draft picks. So it's like, if you still want to do win now, you'll have draft picks. You'll have more ammunition to get more veteran players to then increase your window. But
that's the thing. They didn't even announce Halliburton was available until the Pacers just pulled it off. It was always De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox.
And honestly,
I guarantee if y'all knew it was Halliburton, the Sixers would have pulled that.
I think Daryl Morey didn't care.
Yeah, that's
that too.
It's the same reason he's about to go get Eric Gordon and PJ Tucker. He is out to prove that it was not. I can win a championship with Jay. He is on some sort of like egomaniac. Like, no, I'm going to win with James Harden. I don't care.
Listen, you want to know the funny thing is, like, you know how we talk about, maybe it wasn't Brett Brown's fault. Like, I'll say this: Sam Hinkie would have made that trade.
Yeah, he would have.
He would have made that trade. Yeah, he would have made that trade to Halliburton.
Told you, once they railroaded Hinkie, they railroaded Brett Brown. Hinkie hired Brett Brown. This was all a plan. You know what Hinkie didn't do? He didn't draft Ben Simmons.
Nope. That's going to be a topic later on the show. Once again, you're listening to 98.5 WJYN, the Running Back Sports Show, Sports for the Culture. If you want to call to join the discussion, the number is 215-763-9596. So, who's after the Kings?
One of my favorite teams in the league. I believe if I'm correct. Yep. The Portland Trailblazers.
Mr. 10:30 primetime games every Tuesday and Thursday on TNT.
I'm going to get on my soapbox for a second. Excuse me, y'all. Damian Lillard. I love you to death, brother. You are as solid as an NBA star is. I would argue that you are the closest thing to Allen Iverson if you really think about what Allen Iverson meant to the culture. Right. Of just staying solid, keeping it hood, but also like obviously, and you I think have taken it to another level because you stay out of trouble and you don't get no dumb stuff and family man, all that good stuff. But dog,
staying loyal to the soil.
It's time. You can request the trade, bro.
And we don't mean Dame time.
We don't mean Dame time. It's time to request the trade. It's okay. We get it. You stuck it out. You rode. You go somewhere. You don't even got. I'm not even arguing that you got to go do all this superpower team up, and I'm gonna go play. Go play with one star. Go to Minnesota. You be the best player on the team.
Anthony Edwards.
Oh, that's tough.
You know what I'm saying?
And Dame, that would be
Cat and Dame. You package it. It's going to sound crazy. You package Anthony Edwards. Ooh. I guarantee you Portland would do it.
No. I can see that happening because
Portland would do it.
Yeah.
It's the only way. If I'm Portland, it's the only way I'm giving up Dame.
All right, hear me out. Dame time to Toronto.
What are you giving up? OG Anunoby,
Red VanVleet, and picks.
Okay.
For Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo.
That might be.
He's gonna hate going to Toronto though. Like Nick, playing there is gonna be awesome, but he just don't strike me as
bro. Like him and Drake, literally being buddy during the games.
Does he strike you as the type of boy that cares about hanging out with these celebrities outside?
He's also a rapper. So
yeah,
part of that.
But you got to think about it. That even more proves my point. You think he doesn't already have access to Drake? You never see Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard be with his family. This is what I mean by I say loyal to the soul. He don't do the whole, and it's not to say that he hating on nobody or think he better than him. He just don't be Joe. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fairest way to put it.
Okay, but here's the thing. It's like Portland is a very loyal, very passionate fan base, and then you're going to go up to Toronto, which has the same amount of energy. At that point, you have nothing but defense surrounding you. You have a guy
Miami.
They're them too.
And I could give you the package for Miami. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson to match the money, picks, and y'all can have one more young guy. Then you'd have Dame, or y'all could, They're not taking the Kyle Lowry money. But the only thing is you just signed Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
So then that'd be a terribly redundant back. That backcourt would get torched.
Honestly, Miami's in a weird situation because I understand you want to move off Duncan Robinson, but it's like
Nobody told y'all to give him $90 million.
yeah, nobody told you to get Duncan Robinson $90 million. No one told you to get Kyle
And
Lowry
then
$28 million.
you don't play him at all.
Yo, y'all didn't play him. The funniest thing is from Eric Spoelstra perspective, I'm like, I respect you. Like, I gotta do my rotation. If I'm Pat Riley, who is their active GM right now? Because it's not technically Pat. I mean, obviously he gets the last.
Is it
say, let's
Caron
be
Butler
real.
or is he an assistant?
I thought
I think
Caron Butler was the
I
assistant
think Caron
coach.
Butler's the assistant GM.
Oh, I thought he was the
Yeah,
assistant coach.
CB out here walling.
It's somebody we
Nicky
don't
O'Shea
know.
or something.
It's a guy named Andy Ellisberg.
Okay, so he's mad. He's in the skybox steaming because you signed a $90 million contract. This man, he can't play in a playoff game.
Yeah, and it's like I keep seeing these weird trade packages where it's like, yo, we can get Duncan Robinson. I'm like, if Miami had no use for him,
What do you think
what do you think he's gonna do here in Philly?
me?
You're literally paying $13 million more for Furkan Korkmaz.
And you can't get off Kyle Lowry. So
No, because he just got there.
So Dame
Yeah.
couldn't, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not many viable. See, the thing about Dame is he doesn't want to go and be with a bunch of other stars, which I get. But
He
then
just takes it back to that old 2000 feeling. One star per team, except for the anomaly of Shaq and Kobe. But
exactly.
AI was with the Sixers. Gilbert was on the Wizards. Vince was in Toronto.
Yep.
T-Mac in Orlando.
San Antonio.
Tim Duncan was in San Antonio.
No, I was talking about Dame to San Antonio.
Oh,
Ooh. Now, my only question is, why would you go for? The only difference is he going to a better coach. I mean, no disrespect to Chauncey Billups. That's just kind of a statistical fact at this point.
No, because coach and organizational structure matter.
Yeah, but is that all right? These teams were separated by literally 2 spots in the play-in. Is that team or roster that much better with a healthy Dame than Portland's roster would be? You know what I mean?
I don't even know who's on Portland's roster. First of all,
Anthony Simons.
they
They
build
need
around
him. He's gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me. If Dame leave, he's gonna be like, let me drive the boat. Oh, he's gonna be out there chucking. I love when a young guy's like, listen, we gonna stink, so I'm gonna put these buckets up. I don't know about y'all.
No, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta listen.
To make it.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm about to do what I gotta do.
But
Yeah.
I think when CJ got traded, Dame should be like, all right, that's it. I'm out.
Yeah.
That should have been the curtain call right there. I'm out. You traded CJ. That's my man's. I gotta go.
I thought that was. Everybody was like, oh well, not even this year. We like, oh well, summertime comes, Dame will get traded. He's gonna say his, real passionate goodbye. He might cry at the press conference. Then it's time to go get this ring. But now it's like you really going to just lose the rest of your career there. And I guess for him, he's looking at it like, if it's meant for me to win a ring, I'm gonna run it in Portland. And I respect that.
Honestly, the last destination possible thing, it was like Damian Lillard to the Knicks. Because you have an owner that doesn't really care that much about assets. It's like you have.
What would Portland want? You got to think about this. This is not just Portland. Now, if Portland's saying like, "Hey, let's just get some pieces, some unloadable contracts, and stink it up," then sure, there's a lot of places you can go.
Okay,
but if Portland's like, "We want something back," or RJ Barrett,
I think they're going to do whatever it takes to not move him, because if you move RJ Barrett, then what's the point of getting Dame?
So what? Randall,
because of the money. Emmanuel quickly. Obviously, your picks.
Yeah.
And probably like Obi Toppin.
And you kind of just gutted the team because, like, a lot of what I think makes the Knicks fun is you have IQ who's going to develop, Obi Toppin who can develop, RJ who can develop. Randall is still only 26, 27.
Yeah.
And he had a bad year. Now, obviously, his career has been closer to last year than the year before that.
But you got to think about it from the Knicks standpoint. It's like since 2010, they've been struck out on free agency, so they have to settle for B or C level tier free agents. You didn't need LeBron or Wade, so you had to settle for Amari Stoudemire. You did whatever you could to make sure that Carmelo Anthony stayed, but at that point, it was way too late. You didn't want to wait on Kristaps Porzingis, so you traded him for cap space. And now you're really the only team in a position where you have enough assets, and because if you're going to double down on Thibodeau, getting a guy like Damian Lillard makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, will Dame and Thibodeau clash?
I think.
They will.
Yeah, I think Tibbs gonna run him to the ground.
That's
for
what
sure.
I'm saying. That's the other thing. Dame's body ain't really built to be playing 82 games at 40 minutes a night, defending the best point guards
Hey,
in the
Dame,
league.
hey, he's saying he's not running from the grind, so get ready for that grind.
Oh, you're a jerk. I see what you do if you was the GM. You don't run from the ground, right, Dame? I got the perfect location for you. Pack your bags, buddy. You're gonna love New York.
Could it possibly be
I-
a 3-team trade?
Real talk,
Brooklyn?
I fear for myself if I ever
You
become
said
a
Brooklyn.
A 3-team?
And what, send Kyrie to Portland?
Not him. Send him to Portland. Send him somewhere else. Since he want to go somewhere
But
else.
who would want Lakers?
Well, you
still.
could do the clip.
That's why I said the Lakers
Lakers, Portland,
and Brooklyn.
3-team trade.
Who would go
if-
where?
Let's start doing this money thing. So on the Lakers,
Obviously, Westbrook has to be involved.
so Westbrook would go to Portland, which would make them stink, and then they could eat his last year to deal.
Hey, Westbrook with young guys. That's a play into you.
That'd be annoying. I'd
yeah.
be mad if I was Portland because I'd be like, stop being good enough just to stop us from getting them. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Right.
Oh no, can you just imagine like a Blazers Lakers playing game where it's like it's 9 and 10, where it's like I'm gonna get my revenge.
I'm gonna get mine.
I'm gonna get mine. And he put him out on a Russell Westbrook triple double.
Yo, Westbrook send them home. That would
Yo,
be incredible.
Yo, LeBron be sick.
LeBron probably retire after that one.
He's like, yeah, no, I'm not waiting for Bronny.
Yeah,
I would. I'd be like, yeah, I'm pretty much done here. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, and obviously last is probably Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Yep. And the Rockets. So the Thunder. I'm gonna pull a Kings on you. I don't really have anything to say about them. It's a weird team. I don't watch any Thunder basketball.
They have SGA, Josh Giddey.
I like Giddy. I see some Giddy.
Giddy is good. They still got Dort. He's okay.
I have
Yeah,
a basketball crush on Lou Dort. I need Lou Dort in the Sixers jersey. Last week.
He's
You know what they need? They need a pillar to the community.
A real guy who go down there and run some fundraiser events.
Yeah.
Really get the kids involved. They need Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
That's what they need.
Mm-hmm.
The wonderful fans in Oklahoma. He loved the fans. They won't boo. They stand and wait to the first basket.
Just give us Lou Dort. That's it.
So,
The very low price of Lou Dort and Derek Favors because we need some sort of take some money back.
Yeah. Oklahoma City would be stupid enough to do that. They're like, we getting a 20-point score with SGA
And we'll throw
Josh
you.
Giddey.
Oh, and we all know how much of a first round pick, so we'll throw you in a 2036 first round pick.
yo. You wildin'. What pick did the Thunder got this year?
They have the number 2 overall pick.
Oh wow.
So they probably
They're probably gonna take Chet.
Yeah,
They're gonna
Chet
take Chet.
Holmgren. Yeah,
They're gonna take Chet.
they don't have a center, so
Yeah. And don't they have 2 and something else? Because they got the Lakers pick.
no, the Pelicans have the Lakers pick.
But
So the Pelicans
is Chet at center?
They have the 12th pick from the Clippers.
Okay, yeah. So they have
Yeah.
2 and 12.
Yeah,
Is Chet at center though?
I mean, in today's NBA, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right.
Like, do I think he could bang in the 90s? Probably not. He'd probably be more like Sean Bradley. That's the thing. You gotta think like, all right, I give a perfect example. Like Sean Bradley wasn't the greatest, but I'll give you an example. Like, what if Sean Bradley secretly could shoot threes, but teams were just like, I'm never letting you shoot a pick and pop three ever. You're gonna go down the block and get disrespected. But what if one coach would have just been like, why don't we just run the pick and pop? Nobody would have stopped in the 90s. They'd be like, how does he keep doing this 5 threes in a row? It's like you're leaving him.
not to
wide
mention
open
Sean
at the top
Bradley's
of the key.
literally 6. It's like 7'6", so his shot is literally just a straight line.
You know what I'm saying? But like that's what I think about a lot of like players who either didn't or people say you couldn't play in the 90s. It's just like, well, the game was played differently. And so
That's
I
what
think
I was
eras
trying to tell
dictate
people
things.
earlier.
Like in the 80s, everybody was so well conditioned, was rarely a fat player because the pace was so different. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody moved differently. Everything was up, and that's why the scores were 148, 132, and crazy stuff like that. It was like 2K in real life. Then somebody just turned the speed sliders up. And now this era is kind of in the middle where it's like not as slow as the 90s, but it's not like the 80s. It's kind of like you get 120 to 115. You might have a 130 something night or somebody could cook you like that, but for the most part, it's kind of like perfect.
Yeah.
I just have a problem with some of the people like Gilbert saying some people from the 90s can't play in today's NBA. That's all.
No, I think he's right about that though.
some,
Depends- depends on the
some
player.
people like. Let me give you a prime example. I'm trying to think of a player. I can't even think of one right now, but I was naming a bunch of players. Like John Stockton, for example. Yeah, John Stockton wouldn't be good now. But I had somebody tell me that Clyde Drexler would stink right now.
Well,
That's would be yamming on people right now.
Thank you.
let's be. I think John Stockton will be fine, like right now, especially the way he can shoot the three, he can facilitate. We literally went through that entire decade watching Steve Nash win back-to-back MVPs.
And that's the thing. People don't know John Stockton can actually shoot.
Yes.
He just didn't do it. Like that
Yeah,
was the
'cause-
crazy thing about it.
If he wanted to shoot more threes, or if he was on the team like the Warriors now, what he'd be a pick and
Or
pop.
even the Warriors in
master.
the 90s, like Run TMC.
Exactly, he'd
Yeah,
be a pick
he
and
would-
pop animal.
Yeah. But like, yeah, Stockton could definitely play today because like we literally watched Steph Curry dominate. And like Stockton in a degree has a similar skill set to Steph. And to me, he's a better facilitator.
Oh yeah.
So like to me, if he wasn't tied with Karl Malone, we probably would have saw a lot more like of offensive bag out of John Stockton.
Yeah. How many years he played? 20?
Yeah, he played 20, rarely missed games. And he went to 2 finals.
And he was what, like almost 10-10 every year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'll say like I would honestly make an argument that like most of the players of the 2000s, like during those early 2000s, I think like at least 5 or 6 of them would be the best player in the league right now.
Yeah, like T-Mac would be on top.
Oh no, T-Mac would be like top 3 easily on his worst day.
Yeah, T-Mac would be unstoppable.
Like old school Kobe would definitely be the best player in the league. Iverson would be up there as well. Shaq would still be Shaq. I don't care about this whole like
yeah, I don't
well,
think
look at all the space and all this stuff. I'm like, nah.
Shaq will dominate this league.
Yeah, especially Orlando Shaq.
Oh yeah.
Especially the Shaq that was able to get up and down on the floor.
Yeah.
He would kill.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah. Like even Charles Barkley back in the 80s, he'd be a top 5 player in the league right now.
Oh yeah, he killed.
Shoot, I said Rod Strickland.
Rod Strickland would be.
Yeah.
Rod,
Rauf Abdul Maud would
he
be.
would have.
A lot of people don't even know who that is. He'd be a bucket right now, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
As I said, defense is a lot different now.
It is.
Yeah,
a lot more spacing. You can't hand check. There are a lot of things in the 90s also that you could do rule wise that was different. You could be more physical.
Yeah, and now most teams play zone now.
Right.
So I don't know about Oklahoma, but I will say this. I think in about a year or two, I think Houston might be like probably like one of my it's going to be probably one of the teams I'm definitely going to be watching the most in the league because I like Jalen Green.
He had to grow on me a little bit.
Yeah.
But he did. He got it. Because at first I didn't think he had it, but then as I kept watching him, and it's like the Cade Cunningham thing, like when Cade just was trying to figure it out, Jalen Green was thrown into the fire trying to figure it out on a bad Rockets team.
Terrible Rockets.
Yeah.
Nobody is there, and he started figuring it out, and I was like, Jalen Green got it.
Yeah. The one thing I will say though is that I don't hate Kevin Porter. I actually like him, but
I like Kevin Porter.
I'm a big fan.
But
of
I
his.
feel like at some point, I think he'll be a lot better coming off the bench and being a starter.
I think he will be a flamethrower 6 man. You just need a real point guard first.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
the only playmaker on the team. I think they should go Paolo, unless
I
the
think-
Magic go Paolo first and Jabari's available.
Yeah.
But I think you go. I think at this point, this is not about to become some defensive juggernaut team. I think you just double down on getting buckets on people.
Yeah.
No, they're going to follow that same philosophy they've always had with D'Antoni. It's like we're just going to score. We're just going to outscore you.
He's not for you.
But the difference now is that we doubled down on getting all this draft capital to get younger. So we're going to at least have 3, 4, 5 different guys getting you buckets every single night. And it,
yeah. So I'm thinking like that's the thing. Like, do you think Porter Jr. is even really part of the future? Like, I think he could be a great 6 man at some point. But like, do you think they really feel like, all right, this team is being built around like Jalen Green, Kevin Porter, whoever we draft this year, that be Paolo or Jabari, and then kind of go from there as that being the core? Because I like Kenyon Martin Jr. Like, I like a lot of the pieces they have. I just think it takes time.
What about
Teams
the
don't develop together.
What's the center name?
Spurgeon.
No, yeah, Sungun or something.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
good
like-
too.
I
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
man.
He's actually training with Hakeem. He's in Hakeem's.
seen that.
He's
So
with
that's-
Hakeem's camp this summer.
That's
They really
awesome.
liked him. That's ultimately the reason why they moved him on
Christian Wood, yeah.
Christian Wood, because they doubled down on him.
That's awesome. Yeah, they got a lot of young pieces. They're gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose a lot of games. They're gonna be fun to watch.
But yeah, like once those guys are seasoned and they get it together, they're gonna be the probably gonna be the hottest ticket.
Oh yeah, like when Jalen Green turns the corner and realized, like, wait a minute, hold on, I'm kind of like that a little bit. Like,
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
gonna
he
be
started
crazy.
doing that at the
He
end of
started
the
feeling
season.
he made like 5 straight 40-point games, something wild like that. Like
Yeah.
there was some record he filed with AI rookie year, and I'm like, dang. So you gotta get that man credit where credit is due, man.
yeah. Yep. All right.
Also, random side note, even though I know we're talking about teams that didn't make the playoffs, a team that did make the playoffs but got embarrassed in the first round, the Denver is coming back for blood next year.
Oh yeah,
Porter Jr., Murray coming back, Jokic healthy still. They're gonna come for blood.
Murray for sure. Porter, I'm not sure because back injuries are always tricky,
Sure.
and that's been
his biggest downfall.
yeah, that's literally been the biggest highlight of his career. Not like in that kind of way, where it's like, okay, that's the biggest red flag because when he's on the court, that's a 27-3 guy.
yeah.
And he's not even in his prime yet. He can score like that.
Yeah,
That's just off jumpers and like backdoor cuts.
yeah. So like you're talking about a team that was a 6 seed with just Jokic, Bones Highland, and Monte Morris, and now you get your legitimate pick and roll running mate back, Porter Jr., who can double down on at the legitimize the 3 and the stretch 4 position.
And you don't have to count on Aaron Gordon
Yeah,
anymore.
Aaron Gordon can finally go back to the bench where he belongs.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I think there's a world where you start Gordon and Porter together.
Oh yeah, you could do that.
Like you could go
Jokic, Gordon, Porter,
Murray, Jokic, Gordon, Porter, Murray,
or Barton Murray.
Barton Murray, rather. Yeah,
Will
Barton
Barton
Murray.
Murray. Yeah.
That would be your 5.
Yeah.
And then you got Morris off the bench. You still got Compazzo off the bench.
You got
Highland.
Bones.
Green, Bones Highland. I think you need like 2 or 3 more wings. Like it's funny, Jeremy Grant or somebody like that would have been perfect. Like you need another defensive wing. And
Now, if you trade Aaron Gordon for Jeremy Grant, then
which would be such a redundant move because you could have just paid Jeremy Grant.
Don't he still got your Michael Green?
Yeah.
no, actually, he just got traded.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's funny as heck.
To where?
I think OKC, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
Okay, so he'd be like, expiring contract. Come on, brother.
somebody say expiring contracts.
Sam Presti. That's Sam Presti coming in the auto winner me. Somebody say they got expiring. Here comes Sam. What? You got some picks you trying to trade? No, Sam, I ain't got no picks, bro.
Like, I really think he just got traded to OKC.
That's actually hilarious.
What am I doing? I'm just gonna look up Woj. I'm struggling here trying to spell Jermichael. I'm just like, bro, okay.
That's what I was doing. Like I was trying to type it in, and I was like, I don't even know how to spell his name.
Nicholas Batum also declined his player option, $3.3 million.
He's still playing.
Yeah.
That's my.
All right. Veterans forward Jeff Green exercised $4.5 million player option.
Yep, he went to the Thunder for the
What was it?
20, the number 30 pick and 2 future second round picks.
For Jermichael Green.
That's what Denver gets back.
That's a steal.
But Denver gives up the 2027 first round pick. They had 27. That's like 5 years.
Oh gosh.
So hopefully that works out.
Yeah. And Kendrick Nunn has elected to opt out from the Lakers.
Of course. He was in a weird position as far as like being on the Lakers. I feel like that whole team is, like we said earlier, they just
Nothing
LeBron,
about
AD, Russ, then everybody else.
Hey.
Melo up in the air. He might go somewhere else. And they still got Avery Bradley.
yeah. The hilarious thing is that every single year when Lakers fans are always talking about trades to make their team better, they will always sort of like, we'll throw in Kyle Kuzma. Taylor Horton Tucker's become the Kyle Kuzma. Where it's like, he's just a throw in. He's like, oh, yeah, he's young. But, like, yeah, how much are you paying this guy? 8 figures. I'm like, and yeah, I'm good.
I actually thought he was good. I mean, he all right. I'll give him that. He's okay. But like, he's like a black hole. Like, as soon as he get the ball, see one bucket go in, he's just gonna keep going. And takes him all out the rotation.
Yeah, this isn't, and I know this may sound like an exaggeration, but for me, it's not. I feel like he's like one of the worst young players in the league.
Who?
Taylor Horton Tucker, especially with the money he's making.
Oh yeah, that was a bad L that the Lakers took as far as like everybody's like, oh, this guy's the next great guy with an investment. Blah, 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 blah.
No.
No, trash. Absolute garbage juice.
Yeah. All right. So what exactly are the Sixers going to do?
Stink. Nothing else we can do.
I don't know. What can y'all do? What moves can y'all make to take the pressure off of James Harden? Because obviously he's opting in his player option.
Yeah.
And he said he's going to take all summer to be in shape, rehab his hamstring, make sure he's good and everything like that. But I just don't know. I can't even tell you what to do.
The problem with the Sixers is that even if we address a flaw, there's still another flaw. Where it's like, okay, if Harden comes back healthy, it's cool. That's great for us. That means we'll still win 50 games. We don't have to be a playing team. We'll probably get out of the first round. But the problem with Harden was always his efficiency when it comes to the playoffs. The guy has field goal percentage always takes a dip. His 3-point percentage takes a dip. Mm-hmm. He always makes shots a lot harder than what it is. And the thing is that, and the other issue that compounds it is that we do not have a coach that can draw up something that's like, yo, James, come here. Yeah, do this so that way that bucket that you're trying to get is a lot more easier. It's like the one thing Doc is good at is that he lets his players play. But when the team is in a rut and they need something that's completely different, that doesn't come across. Which is why I just want all these old guard like head coaches like Thibodeau and Doc Rivers. I just want them to get put out the pasture.
That's what I'm about to say. How do y'all feel about Doc? Should he stay or should he go?
He needs to go. Like, I don't get how you can watch this team in Game 6 at Wells Fargo Center play so lifeless, but then have the mindset was like, you know what? We're just going to run it back. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't like – it's not one of those things where it's like – it's the Kawhi shot where it's like, okay, if it was the Kawhi shot and you tried to run it back, that was the opportune time to run it back. That was
the opportunity.
But the thing is that you alienated Jimmy Butler. Yep. So at that point he was out of the door. So you lost your toughness, you lost your leadership, you lost your grit. You lost TJ McConnell, who was a guy that was willing to do all the little scrappy things that every playoff team needed. And then you lost your shooting in JJ Redick. You lost all three of that, and you doubled down on size, in which the entire fit was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem with this team is that you really can't do anything to really improve this roster. And it's like, guys, be real. Regardless if you can throw in as many picks as you want, no one's going to take Danny Green's contract.
No.
Nobody. Especially if he's not going to be playing. No. So just opt out of that deal. Save yourself the $10 million that you're going to have him on the roster for. Just let it be. And more importantly, he's not going to be playing this season.
No.
If not until later. And the only way that you can have some sort of financial flexibility to try to make a move or two to improve this team is that you got to get rid of that Tobias. You got to get creative and get rid of Tobias Harris. Whether it's you trade him to like an Oklahoma City or like a Portland Trailblazers who can absorb that cap hit and you take a little bit back so that way you could then move a little bit more coordinate to make accommodating pieces for Harden, Maxey, and Embiid. But no one's going to take that Tobias Harris contract without taking something in return.
Also, I think he has 3 years left on that deal. Right?
He has 2.
So my biggest thing is, are you okay with whatever we get back from at this point? You kind of accepted that it's
You got to
gonna be
take
a net
pennies. Yeah,
loss?
you got pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, pennies on the dollar sound wild to me. It sounds like what's the dude, like O'Shea Brissett from the Pacers, and like Terrence Mann for Tobias Harris. When you say pennies on the dollar, that's what it sounds like somebody will want me to take. And I feel like that's wild.
Yeah, but it's like, what good is Tobias Harris going to do for you? Not only that, it's the $37 million price tag. It's like, what are you gonna do? Like, have Harden just have him sit in the corner and just be a spot up shooter? You're paying $37 million for a spot up shooter now, and not to mention, like, he's not athletic enough to kind of justify, like, and he's just average in everything. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's like,
yeah, it's the truth.
He's good. He's good at every little thing, but he doesn't excel.
Player. That's all.
He just doesn't excel in anything. He doesn't excel in athleticism. He's a solid shooter, not a great like 3-point shooter. He's really good on the mid range. But here's the thing: like, mid range is kind of dead. If this was 15 years ago, Tobias Harris would be like a 25-7 guy.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah. But the one thing I will give him though is that he when it came time to it, he did D up in the playoffs. He did take that task of playing gritty defense on Pascal Siakam and Jimmy Butler. And that's the one thing I'll always respect about Tobias Harris, is that every single time we talk about, we talk about fit, we talk about adjustments, like even here, like, was like at that point, Tobias Harris was a 4th option when we first got him. He took that to the chin, and any sort of criticism he got, he took it to the chin, and he still adjusted his game. No matter what incarnation of the Sixers we was doing in terms of deconstructing and reconstructing the roster, he accommodated and adjusted his play to the style that which we needed, even though it wasn't enough, but he did it. So he'll always have my respect for that. Yeah. Where it's like, all right, Jimmy Butler's gone, so we're going to need you to take more of an offensive load. Yeah, sure, no problem. It wasn't like, obviously 19, 20 points isn't enough, but it was the best he was able to do. But as always, the problem with Tobias Harris is that contract. If Tobias Harris was making half of it, I'm pretty sure no one would have any issues about him coming back. But that contract is just so ugly, where it's like, we need more from you, but it's like, you're Tobias Harris. Like, how much more can we honestly expect from you?
Right. It's just it's a bad situation for a player that's just, like we said, just really good, who do all the things that you want him to do, but he don't step it up enough.
Yeah.
Like, as from watching him when he first came into the league, yeah, he's a better scorer now, but still, it's like, you're just okay.
Yeah.
So when you talking about running back, you guys lost off of a miracle shot.
Yeah.
Miracle. The basketball guys was holding Kawhi by his shoulders to make that shot, and that took him to the finals. That should have been the run back right there. But due to Brett Brown, Jimmy, Ben, that triangle right there, Jimmy like, all right, I'm out. JJ's gone. And like you said, y'all got to reconstruct, and then just haven't been the same.
Yeah.
Like, I think that team right there was the best team the Sixers had and the best chance for the Sixers to win a chip.
Yeah.
Because it's just mind-boggling that Boston got to the finals before the Sixers.
I mean, everybody's getting to the finals before us. We saw Toronto win a championship. Milwaukee won a championship. We saw Miami go to a finals in their first year with Jimmy Butler, and now we're watching Boston. I mean, shoot, what's next? Brooklyn?
If Brooklyn go, if I don't know about Kyrie, if he will be focused, but if Kyrie be focused and Brooklyn change some stuff up,
yeah,
they might be next.
Yeah, but real quick. But once again, you're listening to 98.5 WJYN, the Running Back Sports Show, Sports for the Culture. If you want to call to join the discussion, that number is 215-763-9596. We're live here on Uptown Radio and on uptownradioaffiliate.org, and we're live on the Running Back YouTube channel. But yeah, let's talk about it for a little bit. It's funny watching Brooklyn just Like now, all of a sudden, there's talks about Kyrie not wanting to come back, and funny, like ever since that Harden Simmons, fallout, it's like the difference is that for better or for worse, we already know what we're going to get from James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
At least he'll be there. We're getting a top 75 player of all time. He can be able to facilitate the offense. Tyrese Maxey will be able to play off ball. But the one thing I do want to see next year, I want to see a little more pick and roll action with Joel Embiid.
Right.
Because for me, the one thing I really want to see Joel Embiid do is that I want to see Harden make it easy for Joel Embiid.
Right.
What I mean by that is that we all know Joel Embiid is an elite 3-level scorer. But the one thing I want to do sometimes, I don't want him laboring so much on offense, getting his own shot to the point where it's like it takes so much energy out of him.
Right.
Like I want to see him get a nice pick and roll, basket. Pick and roll, and Embiid just like runs to the basket and gets an easy dunk. Or I want to see him, run a pick and roll. They try to crash on Harden after the pick, and Embiid gets a wide open jumper. I want to see that next year. A little bit more creativity on the pick and roll. But for Brooklyn, it's like obviously we probably know Ben Simmons is probably going to play next year. I don't know.
I honestly don't know.
They already have a perfect team.
Is it?
I mean, if Kyrie doesn't want to mess it up, they could hoop. To be honest, if you replace Kyrie with, it's going to sound weird because I can't think of an equivalent right now, but a healthy-ish Kemba Walker equivalent players like 19 points per game, you could win with that team with KD and Ben switching on defense.
Yeah,
Joe Harris coming back. You can win with that team.
All right, but the thing is that the Kyrie situation is delicate because that's KD's boy. Exactly. So it's like if you make the decision, and Jordan said it earlier during his call in, is that in the end, as good as Kyrie is, Brooklyn has to look out for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to commit $35 to $40 million, and if something happens, Kyrie doesn't feel like playing. And it's like I get it. Some of what Kyrie be talking about sometimes, like on outside of basketball, I get it. I support him.
100%.
Even if I don't, he has the right. He has a right to his opinion. He has a right to do what he does in terms of looking out for himself.
100%.
But the thing is that as an organization, it's like, bro, I'm trying to win a championship. I need my best players, and you're the second most important player outside of Kevin Durant. You guys were a package deal. That's why they gave up on that Kenny Atkinson edition of the Nets for this.
Yep.
So at that point, it's like, bro, I'm going to give you $35 million, $40 million on Kyrie. That's gonna snowball into Kevin Durant. Be like, yo, what are you guys doing? That's my boy. Screw this. I want out. And then at that point, it's like if KD sits out, it's like you just at this point
we have.
It's like it's Ben Simmons and a bunch of shooters.
And the crazy thing about it is with Brooklyn, you had people coming there, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, Gordon Dragic. Like everybody wanted to come to Brooklyn because they believed.
Yeah, Patty Mills,
KD and Kyrie was the two pillars of that franchise. But I also want to say about KD, I just want to know how salty he feels right now that Steph won a ring without him, and he was just home out the first round just watching.
That's like he won before him. They went back to back with him,
right?
And they won another one without him.
So
that just goes to show you like how great of an organization the Warriors are,
right?
It's like, all right, cool. Like we got Harrison Barnes, cool. We can win. They not only won with Harrison Barnes, but they won 73 games with them. Then you bring in KD. We won back. We won 2. We almost won a third if no one gets hurt.
Right.
And then after that, it's like, all right, cool. Andrew Wiggins, cool. We won with them.
So it's like you had, and granted, as Stephen A. would say, that was the worst move in basketball history, which I agree, but then I disagree too, because the way the Warriors play basketball, it's easy. It's free flowing. And KD, when he went there, I said he fits perfectly with them.
Yeah.
So him going there, that's genius.
Yeah, and it's like it's not a time where it's like KD doesn't have to work for a shot. Like obviously KD has to work, but it's like when you're playing with a great shooter like Steph and Klay Thompson, taking the heat off of you.
Yeah.
Especially in that Hampton 5 lineup when you have Iguodala and you have Draymond, who is not a strong 3-point shooter, but he's willing to shoot.
Right.
you're going to get nothing but one-on-one opportunities.
Right. And you didn't see KD work as hard as he did this year. I feel like KD was tired.
Yeah.
He was burnt out. He got run to the ground because he was carrying this Brooklyn team.
Yeah,
Remember, he was hurt too.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. Like before he got hurt, like at like the end of December, they were 12. They were 24-12. They were the number 1 seed. He gets hurt. He has to come back early because you got to remember, like Kyrie can't play home games. James Harden is like then the James Harden trade for Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons is not on the court. So at that point, it's like KD has to double down and come back a lot faster than what he's normally expected to, especially with a lower body injury. Like those hamstrings and like those leg injuries are always tricky, especially if you try to come back early. And we all saw like the aftermath of that. They got swept. And
that goes credit to Boston, but yeah, they got swept because they wasn't.
Yeah, credit to Boston, but it's like my thing is that I think that should really kill any sort of argument left for Kevin Durant being the best player in the world. I said this because you can't here's my thing. Last year, Jason Tatum was in that same position. The only difference is that Jaylen Brown was not available during that entire Brooklyn series. So yeah, Jason Tatum going up against at that point a healthy Kyrie, a healthy James Harden, a healthy Kevin Durant with the amount of shooters that they have in Brooklyn. Jason Tatum at least got Boston one.
Right. He did.
At that point, the only injury that you really had on that Brooklyn team was a guy that you got during the trade that was a guy during the trade in Ben Simmons, who he didn't even practice with, so none of his contributions was really missed because it didn't matter. Like Kyrie played, Seth played, Andre Drummond played, Nick Claxton played. Like everybody was available except for Joe Harris. They were playing with Joe Harris all year.
For his ACL, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they got swept. And at that point, I'm like, you can at least give me one. Then in the very next round, Giannis didn't have Chris Middleton at all, and at least got him to 7.
Yeah, that's true. It's just I think Kyrie is in a weird, sticky situation. It's like you said, Kevin Durant is his boy. You want to play with KD, but then it don't seem like it's working because you got your own stance and everything like that. What do you do from here? Like, where do you go? There's nowhere else for you to go. So this whole
that's the thing. It's like Kyrie, the talent. Everybody else, I'm pretty sure every team in the NBA would kill for a Kyrie Irving, the talent.
Right.
But you're not just getting Kyrie Irving, the talent. It's like you're getting everything else along with it.
You're getting his attitude. You're getting his mental stance. I don't want to take the vaccine. All that stuff. So it's like he has a choice here. He had to make.
Yeah,
is either you're gonna play basketball or you're not gonna play, because for real, if you just playing 20 games a year, you shouldn't be getting 40 million.
And the thing is that the NBA is so pro player when it comes to these deals because all these deals are guaranteed. No one can take your money whatsoever. Like John Wall opted in for $47 million to stay in Houston
and not even play.
He's not even playing. Like Houston literally told him, like, bro, just go home. We don't need you. But the thing is that owners and general managers are definitely going to be looking into that in the next CBA. They're going to be looking at the Kyrie Irving situation and just like they're going to be looking at the Ben Simmons situation. They're going to be looking at Zion Williamson, where it's like, okay, we all know your money's guaranteed, but it's like, if you don't do X, Y, and Z for this, why should all your money be guaranteed?
Right.
And they're going to factor that in for the next CBA. And if I'm pretty sure players are going to lose hundreds, like millions of dollars of that, and you're going to have to look at certain players like that.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're going to alienate more of the players because as much as players will agree with Kyrie Irving's stance, it's like, bro, you're costing me millions because in this new CBA because of your actions.
Exactly. Because you don't want to play and you don't want to do certain things. Like you said, John Wall is a little bit different. He was told to stay home. So that's different from Kyrie. But
yeah,
he got, like I said, he got to make a decision. Is either you play or you don't play. If you don't play, then you just might as well say you retire from basketball right now as you speak and just move on with your life and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Because even Nike is talking about
rescheduling their deal.
Yeah. So it's like, and you was one of the top selling sneakers at Nike.
Yeah.
So that takes a big hit on you. So he got a lot of things to think about. So hopefully his head is in the right place because I'm not a Kyrie stan, but I actually missed him this season. I miss watching him play this season.
Yeah.
So
like the league is better when the stars are playing. That's literally that's the adage.
Yeah.
But yeah, this all season is going to be interesting. Once again, you listen to 98.5 WJYN, the Running Back Sports Show, Sports for the Culture. We still got about a little over 20 minutes left. If you want to call to join the discussion, that number is 215-976-39596. Almost forgot the number. But for the little time we have left, let's talk some NFL, man. What's that game like outside of your fandom that you're probably going to be looking the most forward to this season?
Bucks Rams rematch.
I want to see Denver versus the Chargers.
Ooh.
I want to see Jay Herbo versus Russell. I want to see how that
First
goes.
name Russell. Last name Wilson.
I'm actually curious about this Denver fit for Russell. I want to see how he fits with these young receivers. I want to see if he could take that Denver team over the top, because it's a stigma of Russell. Like after the Legion of Boom and everything like that, he couldn't take a team, make them winners. They were just okay. So I really want to see, I'm glad he's in a different position now. So I really want to see him, take this Denver team.
Yeah, and the stigma now with Russell is that he starts off the league hot, where it's like first 4 weeks, Russell Wilson for MVP.
Right.
Then after that, the play just falls off.
Right.
Where it's like you'll get a week or two of like let Russ cook, and then it's just like, yeah, Russ, just make cereal, man.
Right. Yeah, it's weird, but I definitely want to see him. I honestly would say I think Josh Allen going to win MVP this year. I think Josh Allen, he got it. Did he surpass Patrick? Not yet, but I'll make him a 1B. He's up there. He's doing it. So definitely we'll see how Buffalo's.
Would you say Joe Burrow surpassed Patrick?
No. I think
even though he went to Arrowhead, came back from 21-3 down.
I still think Patrick is still the best quarterback in the league. Josh is right behind him. Then you got Brady. You could put Burrow in the top. I'll put Burrow in the top 5 after the year he had last year.
Okay, so your top 5 is Mahomes, Allen, Brady. Who's 4?
Oh, I got to put A-Rod 4.
A-Rod and Burrow at 5?
I'll put Burrow at 5.
Okay.
Then Justin Herbert at 6. Lamar 7. I'm trying to think of who else. You can put Russell up there. You got to put Stafford up there because he won the Super Bowl. So that's that. But I am curious what we going to do with Jimmy, because it's time. It's coming. The calls is being made. Is either he's getting cut or he's going to be traded.
Oh, really? Cut or traded? Wow. So it's pretty much official that Trey Lance is going to be the guy.
Trey Lance is going to be the guy.
All right.
They didn't make the official announcement, but all the buzz and everything like that, Trey Lance is the guy.
Okay, so if you get rid of Jimmy, who's the backup for Trey?
That is a good question. I don't know. They're going to have to sign somebody, a veteran, but they're going to make Trey Lance the guy. I've seen some flashes in camp, and everybody's talking in camp. George Kittle is excited. Debo, the whole Debo situation was crazy. Debo's excited. Brandon's excited.
So Debo's back on board now.
Debo's back on board. Trey, they believe in him. Trent Williams, they's like, yo, he's the guy. So Jimmy is probably done.
What does Kyle Shanahan say about that?
Kyle is not going to actually say who's the guy, but he gives Trey Lance a lot of praise.
No, honestly, yeah, because like you're not going to dismiss your guy, especially if you're trying to get rid of him. But I'm just curious to see like what exactly is he saying about Trey.
He loves Trey game. He feels as though Trey still needs some fine tuning, but what he's seen from him this year, as far as camp go and everything like that, he really feels like Trey has grown since last year.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Speaking of your guys, so yeah, you by the way, DeAndre Britton is a 49ers fan. We actually picked up one of your former guys, Jaquiski Tartt.
So he's reliable.
Yeah.
He's a reliable guy. For y'all secondary, I think he will do well. He would do well. If anything, I don't have no problems with him because he's going to make the right play. You know, he makes a lot of good plays. So he's not a risky player. He's not going to take risks. He's not a big time player like Jimmy Ward who would take risks and try to do something. But he's a solid player. So I think that's a solid pickup for y'all secondary.
Yeah. And I like it now because the Eagles have solidified, you know, at least their secondary. So Darius Slay, you got Avonte Maddox in the slot, you got James Bradbury on the other side. We haven't had two competent starting cornerbacks
Right.
since probably I'll say this, probably Asante and Sheldon.
Ooh, dang, I forgot Asante was here. I was about to say Lito and Sheldon.
Yeah,
But Asante and Sheldon, yeah.
I mean, then we had that weird year where it's like the dream team where it's like we tried to do like a three-corner lineup with Nnamdi Asomugha, DRC, and Asante Samuel, but fit and scheme-wise, that just didn't work. Asante's more of a zone guy, and then you got DRC and Nnamdi who are more man.
Yeah.
So, and not to mention, you just flip your offensive coordinator to be your offensive line coach to be your D coordinator, like on the fly. So it's like none of that was going to work out. But now there's an identity, and it's like everybody got on Jonathan Gannon's case last year, justifiably so. But the one thing I'll always ask is like, is it Jonathan Gannon's scheme, or is it the fact that he didn't have enough talent in his personnel to conduct his scheme properly?
I think he didn't have enough talent.
Exactly. To me, like it wasn't enough talent, and you saw it during that Tampa Bay game.
The talent wasn't there.
Yeah, so like we were 31st in the league in sacks last year. The only team that was worse than us was Atlanta. So we didn't have the opportunity. We couldn't get to the quarterback. If Josh Sweat wasn't playing, we had no pass rush at all because Brandon Graham was also hurt after week 2.
Yep,
so now we get Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham's coming back. We got Josh Sweat. We got Hassan Reddick, who is playing linebacker, but I'm pretty sure
he's going
to be on that edge also. Hopefully Fletcher has a bounce back year. We got Milton Williams, who I like. Javon Hargrave had a Pro Bowl season last year, and the big guy Jordan Davis from Georgia. So it's like if you do a entire 50 split rotation with your first 8 guys, with Reddick, with Graham, Sweat, Barnett, Milton Williams, Hargrave,
y'all gonna cause havoc.
Yeah, that's gonna cause havoc. And not to mention, we finally got linebackers now. I like Davion Taylor. That's Howie's little pet project. But like, if you see him, the kid can fly from sideline to sideline. He just needs to stay healthy. Then you got Kasir White, who we got from the Chargers. Everybody who I read from like Chargers Twitter was really upset the fact that we let him go. And now you solidify your secondary with Bradbury and the Tart signing.
Yep.
So now Avonte Maddox does never have to play outside corner again.
Yep.
It's too small.
I think our defense is solidified. It's more so about your quarterback.
Yeah.
And what he does.
And to me, that's the biggest hang up. It's like the biggest hang up right now isn't the offensive line, because if the offensive line stays healthy, that's the top 5 unit.
Yeah.
Arguably the best in the league.
Yeah.
It's not the running game, because once Sirianni realized, like, I do not have the personnel in terms of passing game wise to do what I need to do. So we're just going to become a running football team. And they became the best in the league at it.
Miles Sanders gained well.
Yeah. But now the hang up is that you paid all this, you traded a first round pick, then you gave AJ Brown $100 million. Jalen Hurts has to take this next step.
He got to.
Yeah.
You got AJ Brown on one side, you got Devontae Smith on the other side. They got AJ Brown for you. So now it's like you have 2 weapons that you can use. Now it's time for you to use it.
Yeah, you got Dallas Goedert at tight end. You got Quez Watkins. You still got Zach Pascal for depth.
Yeah, I forgot about Zach. Zach is here now.
Like, listen, even though people, regardless of how people feel about Jalen Reagor, it's like, all right, cool. He'll give you a play or 2 here and there. Now, because of the depth you have, you don't have to rely.
You don't have to rely on him.
The spotlight's not on him. And not to mention, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is one of the best blocking wide receivers. You now move him to tight end. He bulks up. That improves your running game. So now the hang up is can Jalen Hurts take this next step? If Jalen Hurts can take this next step, everything else comes easy. So now we have 2 first-round picks. We can we can get a corner next year, because if we're only on the hook for Bradbury for only 1 year, or same with Tart, we can improve our secondary in the draft next year. or we can try to get health, or we can do what we normally do, which is build in the trenches, and we can get a replacement for Lane Johnson down the line, like we did this year for Jason Kelsey.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. I really feel like the Eagles. I still think the Cowboys probably be number one because they got a consistent unit, even though they lost a lot of pieces on defense for sure.
Losing Amari hurt them.
Losing Amari definitely hurt them. And somebody else they lost.
They lost Cedric Wilson also.
Cedric Wilson. So now they gotta rely on Michael Gallup,
who's coming off an ACL injury,
and
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, who drops the ball a lot.
Oh, yeah. So, I know. I had him on fantasy last year.
He drops the ball a lot. So they got. So I still feel like the Eagles is between the Eagles and the Cowboys. 1A, 1B, the win the division. The Commanders ain't nobody. I don't even know why I just called them that, but that's their name. Nobody's worried about them. And the Giants ain't nobody worried about them neither, even though they made some moves. So I think one of the things I'm probably itching to see. One of the games I am willing to see is the Commanders versus the Eagles. I want to see how Carson Wentz responds to y'all as far as him coming here.
Mm-hmm.
See what he does. Because I don't know. It's a lot of things that's being said about Carson. They saying he just don't have it. He don't have that it factor no more. So can he resurrect his career with the Commanders? Because it's bad when the coach trades you to Washington and they get Matt Ryan. That's terrible. And you're way younger than Matt Ryan.
By 10 years.
And Matt Ryan is like probably 2 years away from being out. Yeah. No.
Yeah. But the thing is that ACL really kind of messed it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, then us moving on to win that Super Bowl, it messed it up the psyche.
Yeah.
Because to me, like, even after the ACL injury, like, you still bits and flashes of what Carson Wentz was able to do. Like, before his back gave out, the guy threw 21 touchdowns and 6 interceptions before he got took out the rest of the season.
Yep.
And his last fully healthy season here, he was the first Eagles quarterback in NFL in franchise history to throw for over 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
And his top wide receivers was literally Greg Ward and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
Yeah.
So the talent was there. It's like but the issue was always like in between the years. Yeah. And I thought, like, him going to the Colts, him going there with Frank Wright, I thought that would kind of like, rectify that, bring back the old Carson Wentz, like him being able to learn some humility, but
it didn't work.
It didn't work. Like Chris Ballard, Jim Irsay just wasn't having that.
Yeah, it's like the quarterback is up to be moved. He's not solidified.
Yeah.
But what was probably the craziest trade this offseason in the NFL?
Tyreek Hill.
I say that too. So my 3 are Tyreek Hill, Devontae, and Khalil Mack. Those was my 3. Like,
Khalil's not crazy. The writing's on the wall. The Bears stink. I'm not going to keep paying $20 million for a pass rusher when we can't score.
That's true. But Tyreek Hill didn't see that coming.
I didn't. Yeah.
That's why it's the most surprising. Like Devontae, you kind of could see the writing on the wall because he was. Remember they did the little last dance post on Instagram right before the season.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
A-Rod was possibly leaving, so it was the Tyreek Hill came out of you. If I would have told you at the beginning of the season, I think the Chiefs gonna portray Tyreek Hill this year.
I wouldn't have believed you.
You wouldn't believe me. You'd have been like, why would they? They would have no reason to do that. Yeah. This is actually one of the most pivotal points in my career I ever can remember in NFL history because Patrick Mahomes is on a trajectory to, if not be the GOAT, which I don't think he now will pass Brady now. He won't. To be in that second or third or fourth conversation. Like that was where his career was going.
Right.
And now you just lost your best weapon. Teams have kind of started to figure you out a little bit. What are you going to do? And your best receiver is Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce. That's a receiver. Because I don't trust Juju that much, but you still got Travis Kelce.
But the thing is that Tyreek Hill allowed the Chiefs to get away with so much.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and it's like now it's like Andy Reid has to get in his bag and realize, like, all right, I need to get creative again.
In his defense, this is a guy who used to score with James Trash and Todd Pinkston.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if there's any guy who could
make it work, Andy can.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like they still got a great line.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna have to run the ball more. Like D said, you still got Travis Kelce. Don't get it messed up. And Juju never was no slouch.
No,
Ben
he
just-
wasn't. Yeah.
Ben just don't have no arm no more. Honestly, Juju might eat in Kansas City.
Yeah.
He might eat
If he stay focused, yeah.
if he stay
Because
focused.
his first year, he was a Pro Bowl, right? His first year.
Yeah,
I think it's not
second
second year.
year. It
Second
was
year.
that
Second year,
with
second
AB,
year.
yeah.
Yeah, but you also got to remember he was also getting one-on-ones and easier looks for AJ Brown on the other side.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
And then he slowly got
You know,
replaced by
funny enough,
DeAndre.
I think AJ Brown's first name is Antonio. I think his name was like Antonio something. Funny enough, or no, it's Arthur James or something like that.
Arthur James.
Arthur Juan.
Arthur
I think that's where I think his name is Arthur
All right.
Juan Brown.
It probably is.
Juan Brown. Yeah.
That's crazy. What about the Dolphins? Since Tyreek is now on
I'm
the
all in on
Dolphins,
Tua.
you all okay?
That's good. That's gonna be my Madden team this year.
Don't do
I
that.
said the same thing.
Don't do that.
I said
Don't
the
do
same
that.
thing.
Route routes all day.
Like you got
Good luck stopping these drags. Oh,
Never seen nobody get cooked like that.
like that team is like it's just so fast right
it's
now.
like all right, cool. We got. Listen, all due respect to Tua. All right, cool. Tua doesn't have to throw the ball longer than 5 yards.
no.
He's like, all right, we got Jalen Waddle. All right, cool. We got Tariq Hill. Sweet. And we got Cedric Wilson, who's a burner also. Tua Tagovailoa never has to throw a pass longer than 20 yards ever again.
And the dark horse is Raheem Mostert. If he stay healthy,
Oh, no, that's a track meet.
that's a track meet. It's just up to Tua to take that next step forward.
Yeah.
But
I forgot Raheem Mostert was down there now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
that-
like, what are you guys gonna do with the running back position? You gonna give Trey Sermon a little more responsibility, or like?
We still gonna do running back by committee. Trey Sermon. I keep forgetting my guy name, the one that actually started for so much. I can't even think of his name right now. But he's probably gonna be the starter.
Yeah.
Trey gonna be the backup. It's like we one thing about San Fran. I feel
Elijah
like-
Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell, yeah. One thing about San Fran, we always get good running backs and good linebackers. So I feel like we always do that by committee. The worst thing we always get is the secondary. And I really need our secondary to really get it together.
What about that one year you had Nate Clements?
That and now I was telling somebody about that. I said, if you look at the 49ers history, we haven't really had a Pro Bowl corner in a long time.
Since
Richard
Deion.
Sherman. Since Deion, exactly. Deion, I think Nick did go to the Pro Bowl once with us
Sherman.
and Sherm. That was it. So you talk about like we had Ahmed Plummer, Terrell Brown. Whew. We had a lot of people. I think we had DRC for like a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
So it's like we never had like a Pro Bowl corner.
Yeah.
Deshaun Golson is a different story because he's a Pro Bowl safety. But
Yeah. To be honest, I always wonder because like me and Jamal brought this up months ago after the NFC title game. Like, what would happen to wonder what this offense would like if you guys legitimately had like a bell cow running back, like an actual name worthy running back.
Shanahan's problem. He doesn't want to just get a running back.
you
You
don't.
gonna run the ball as much as you do and as potently as you do. Why don't you just get somebody who's you put Christian McCaffrey on a team, it's over.
Yeah.
Like that's it. That's the missing piece.
No, to be
Trey
honest,
Lance, you put Christian McCaffrey out there. Ayuk, Samuel, George Kittle, us all.
no, to be honest, next year, get Saquon Barkley. Revive his career.
Ooh,
That would be tough.
that would be disgusting with that line.
Yeah, because we all know the
Option.
Giants aren't going to pay him. So
That would be tough.
And I wouldn't pay him either if I was near. I just wanted to see smart decisions. He can't play. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, but that would be tough.
Dang, that would be tough.
But yeah, we lost that game because of dumb stuff, of course. But
What the
They-
Rams? Yeah.
I already said that we was gonna wind up losing to them if we had to play them again because we beat them twice. That last game we played them in SoFi, and we came back and beat them. I said we play them again, we're going to lose
Yeah.
because we're not. It's going to be hard for them to actually take that loss that we came in to even get into the playoffs. They're going to beat us.
yeah, but y'all came pretty damn close. Like if Tart holds on, that's game.
If Jimmy Ward don't commit that stupid foul,
Yeah.
that just messed up the whole thing. Then again, now you're forcing Jimmy to make a play. that he can't make.
Yeah, because honestly, like once it got to a point where it was a tie game and then you guys were down, I'm like, yeah, this game is over. Jimmy can't do it.
Like you can't. And as much as I love Jimmy, you can't count on him to make a play to win a game.
For the Trey era. Trey area.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's a couple of my passwords too. I didn't already.
Trey area.
Trey area. It used to be Jimmy G 49ers, but now it's Trey area. So I had to change it.
I don't think you should be saying that on there.
They don't know my username, so but yeah, I don't
think
know.
he gonna struggle. Like
I don't
obviously
think
he's
so.
a rookie, so rookies not a rookie, but in general, people tend to he's gonna make some. But like, I think he's gonna put up numbers.
I think he's gonna put up numbers. I feel like the games that he played last year, people was like, well, he didn't do too good. His percentage was bad. But if you look at the tape, that Arizona game, he brought us back. That was one of the biggest games that he had. Like he literally threw like 2 picks, and he's like, all right, let me figure it out. And he figured it out. My problem with him is he just need to learn how to protect himself. That's it.
He also, people got to remember this. This is a guy who played D2 ball.
Yep.
And he was only a starter, 1 year?
1 year.
Because he sat out the COVID year. He was a redshirt freshman or something
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
So he has 1 year of Division II college football.
Yeah, but I also think one of the things that will give him an advantage is that he had a chance to call his own protections. But the thing
And
is
he
that
got-
I don't think that will matter that much with Shanahan because Shanahan is a control freak.
And he got playmakers on offense. So it's like when George Kittle said, we got you, he literally means that. I just want to see George Kittle get the ball a little bit more.
I think he will now because I think Lance is going to be.
Yeah. Because when Jimmy is in, they got George Kittle doing more blocking stuff.
Yeah.
Or doing more drags. You can send George Kittle on the fly route. He'll catch it.
He's going to cook most safeties or linebackers in the league.
Like in some aspects, you can if you want to say George Kittle's better is the best tight end in the league, I'll agree with you. But
I
also,
feel like he is.
He's the most complete tight end.
yeah,
in the league.
but
I
also,
won't say he's the best because Kelsey's receiving ability is that much.
That's the only thing I say about
but I
Kelsey.
also feel like in a degree, Kittle's probably the most underutilized like superstar like weapon in the league right now.
Yeah, that's dude Shanahan. Shanahan's a lot like Thibodeau in basketball, where it's like his best gift is his best curse. Like, all right, everybody gonna get the ball, I'm gonna spread the ball around, stuff like that. Or that's his version of that, where it's just like he's gonna stick to what he's gonna do.
If you give Kittle Kelsey's targets, I guarantee you he'll have 100 catches and 1,500
Oh
yards.
yeah, 100%.
And more touchdowns too.
All
To be
right,
honest, I think that could easily be the case.
all right. I feel like it's a good way to end this. And once again, you got Chris Thomas.
DeAndre Burton.
Jamal Thomas.
And you've listened to the Running Back Sports Show, Sports for the Culture, every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Tune in next week. We have a special guest. He's a guy that's been working with all Philadelphia sports teams for the past 20 years. Al Norfleet, who's the bus driver for all the Philadelphia sports teams, he's calling in at 6:30 to talk with us. Tune in next week, y'all.